Hello everyone, Namaste. Thank you so much for coming to ROTC, the Reality of Tomorrow conference, which is a digital conference of Landmark edition. So firstly, before I get started, this is the first time I'm meeting Landmark customers. This is the first time you have come into the ASBL family. So thank you so much and a warm welcome to all of you. So we at ASBL have been doing this this event, which is principally digital event, right? Webinar from almost 4 years aitundi ippudu, right? It started during the pandemic time, and every year for every site I've been doing consistently, and we've got some great feedback about ROTC and how I also get to learn about our customers' concerns and what their thinking thought process is like. And at the same time, I can also share how at ASBL how we have are taking this feedback and how we have improvised our product, and broadly updates about the project, updates around the neighborhood, so a lot of things like that. So for all of you all whom I'm meeting first time, thank you so much and welcome you all, right? So let's head straight into it. So fairly, this is a pretty long ROTC, a long webinar from my side. Right, this is a broad agenda, outline of our discussion, right? So I'll just talk a little bit about the location and connectivity of the project. Next, the second point and third point, arrival experience and customer research. See, I really wanted to share all the customer research which we have done before designing Landmark, and I wanted to share with all of you guys that research and what did that research transcribe into. So why are we giving X space? Why are we not giving Y space? Or how are we improving the space? And on what basis are we doing that? Why did we come up with these plans, right? On various amenities and various of those things. So I would love to share that customer research, and I'll even be showing you the designs of that place, matlab how that place is going to look. So we've got 3D renders done for most of the spaces. I'll be sharing that. And then a little bit I'll talk about the unit plans, and the fifth and the last one would be the Q&A session, right? So let's head straight into it. So firstly, about the location and connectivity, right? That is the key advantage of Landmark, right? Landmark is located right at the Y junction, and two key things I feel are its most important USP. One is the metro station, right? When we did research in the early days, at the time of project conceptualization, we realized that a lot of people in Kukatpalli, this micro market, are working in high-tech city and staying here, right? That's where I think the metro was a very, very key consideration for us while at conceptualization. Because see, somebody who's working in Mindspace, like which is the center of high-tech city, right, and staying in Landmark, right, you can simply go car free for your day-to-day office commute, right? Like you can just walk 100 steps, take the metro, and get off at the Mindspace junction. And another important thing with the location has been the mall. Now, for those of you to put stats into perspective, this is going to be Hyderabad's biggest mall, right? Currently, most of you would have been aware of Sharat City Mall, right? That is approximately around 10 lakh to 11 lakh square feet. This mall is going to be 14 lakh square feet. It will be the biggest mall in Hyderabad, and for the foreseeable future until another bigger one comes. But this will be the biggest one in Hyderabad, and probably the biggest one in that northern side of the city for a long period of time. So, and in these days, a mall is an entertainment center, right? It is where we as families go on frequent basis for recreation purpose. So these two have been the most important aspects for us to consider while at time of conceptualization of the project. So one is easiness of transportation to major parts of the city, one to get connected. Second is your entertainment space. You can simply walk to the mall, right? It's that simple. So our team has just shot this is the an elevation perspective of the project. So whenever there are this renders, I'll just go off screen so that you can have a total picture of you can have a total visualization. So this is the elevation. Again, as you can see, we have taken a lot of elements of modern architecture. So you'll see a lot of straight lines and glass facades. So that's what this elevation, so it looks sleek and sharp, right? So we have just taken a small video of how to go to the site from the Green Hills Road. So it's just a 1-minute video, so I'll play it. right? So this is a video from the Green Hills Road to our landmark site. Now we have taken another video, again this is also not long, just a minute video, which is how do you travel to the site from JNTU to ASBL Landmark. Yeah, so we have taken few snapshots of what's the progress at site. Currently we have done approximately 60% of the excavation on site, 60 to 65%, 2/3 is finished, and we're doing it in a steady and careful manner because you can see the entire neighborhood has a lot of buildings, so we need to take all the safety precautions and conduct the work. So this is a broad a snapshot of what's the work on site. However, these were taken a week, 10 days back. Now I presume there's lot more work done, right? So let's get into the most important part of now our presentation, right? So this is where now I delve into the design aspect of Landmark. How is Landmark going to look like once it's handed over to you guys, right? And why we have designed all of these things. So in various of our previous learning again from various of our previous projects, something which has been very important to me personally as a designer, right, of spaces, has been the concept of arrival experience, right? To simply put in perspective, how is it that a resident is going to feel? See, when a resident is coming to a project, he is going to interact with this physical space, right? So the concept of arrival experience, so as you come closer to it, how the space greets you, right? How is it going to look at the point of entry, right? At the topmost level is the entry of the project. The next thing is how is the space going to greet you when you enter the towers, right? Or the tower lobbies, which are essentially what the tower lobbies is supposed to be doing. So how the tower lobbies are going to look like. Next, how is it that a resident or a guest is going to feel when he or she comes to the clubhouse, because that's another building in the community, right? So these three things, namely the entry upon arrival, so entry of the project, entry of the tower, entry of the clubhouse. These three together constitute what we call arrival experience. So this is the first interaction which a consumer has with the building or the project. So this has been something very important for ASBL throughout our projects, and again we have been continuously upgrading these aspects and this design thesis from all our past projects, learning from various feedbacks and from our engineering team, from our other customers. So this is what we have designed here. So currently, put me on screen. Yeah, so basically this is, so whenever I'll be showing you the images, first I'll show you the 2D plan so that you will know from which angle this image is, like which space am I talking for context, right? So this is what the entry and exit of the building is. So I will be showing you the circle you see on the left, right? So that is the point what is under discussion. So I'll be showing you how we designed that space, right? So this is the arrival entrance portal of the project. Again, as you see, something which has been very dear to me and very important to me as this concept of somebody being greeted upon arrival by a water body, because water generally is, it symbolifies soothingness and calmness. And even if you go to any major 5-star hotel or a 5-star resort, you always see that there is some water body making some sort of water noise, right, upon arrival, upon the entrance. So here also again you see we have placed a water fountain in the facade wall, and again you see the total entrance is a proper portal frame, right? So it's end to end, it will look symmetric also, and there's a security cabin and all there. So this is how the entrance is going to look like. So this is how the residents and their guests, or their friends and family, whoever come to visit them, this is how they would be greeted. So this has been something very important to us, right? So this is the night render. Again, the entire facade, like that ASBL Landmark wall, what you're seeing, that entire wall comes with a backlit light, and even the left side is where the security cabin is. That also you see it come with various lightings, strip lightings, so that even night time it will look fabulous and stunning. And given that it's in a very prominent location, even those of the people who are traveling outside on the main road also are going to, like, at least are going to turn and see this space. So that's what we wanted to achieve here. Right, next, the minute you come in, this is how it's going to look. Again, there's a small water body with those circular sculptures what we have put there. And generally in landscape, using sculptures really make the space looks much more, I would say much more luxury and much more fine. So we try to use that on arrival. Right, now next, let's talk about, see, now I covered about the entrance. When you're entering the project, this is how it's going to look. Now the next thing is, how is it going to look when I enter the tower, right? And to address that, we have designed something called the tower lobbies. So the lobbies is the place from where the residents and their friends and family enter the tower. So I'll be showing you how the lobby designs, right? And again, every tower has their own double-lighted lobby. So we have 4 towers. All the 4 towers have a double-lighted lobby. So this is the entrance of the visualization of the tower lobby. The space will look 98% similar, just maybe lighting it might change a little bit, but this is exactly how it's going to look in terms of materiality, in terms of look and feel and everything, right? So these are some of the pictures of the tower lobby, and again these tower lobbies would be placed on the ground floor of each and every tower, and these spaces are double height. So even while entering, the volume of space also would be good. So this is again the same elevation, same space from a different angle and a different point of view. And we have placed various furniture sets, because sometimes through our research what we have seen is residents, after their morning or evening walk, they tend, especially in summer months, generally in winter months they tend to sit outside because the weather is more moderate, right, and bearable. In summer months, particularly in May nunchi, I would say something like March nunchi June, times la, we have seen that after walking, particularly in the morning hours, it becomes a little unbearable to sit outside. So I've seen them coming inside the lobbies and sitting. So that's why we have tried to provision ample furniture in the given context of space, so that after walk people can come in their groups, sit and talk, and probably chill with their friends. So this is from another angle. This is again from another angle. See, again, as you see the lobbies, right, you see the entire walls, they are cladded with different types of materials. And the type of materials we are using, and I believe the flooring also is going to be a very fine I think it's a very fine marble what we are using there, so that upon arrival and upon entrance one can feel the luxury of the space. That's very, very more important. See, and whenever we have studied, even I visited projects, like I keep visiting projects in Singapore and US, and try to learn from them. All the projects globally in all the big cities, they focus a lot on arrival experience, and particularly the entry points and the lobbies, the tower lobbies. This is again from another angle, right? So this is the arrival part at a tower level. So far we have finished the arrival at the project level, which is the entrance, and now at the tower level, right, which residents would be using day in day out frequently. And next most important building in the project is the clubhouse. So how is the entrance of the clubhouse going to look like? Again, continuing from the theme at the main gate, we tried to bring in again a water body with the sound, like, with a small fountain, sort of a water spout or fountain, so that one can hear the sound of water as they are getting into the space. So this is the entry part of the clubhouse, outside, right outside. This is the clubhouse reception lobby. Again, absolutely stunning it looks, and probably the best clubhouse in the Twin Cities as of now. Of course, with period of time, new projects keep coming. But again, you can see, again, we've introduced really fine materials. The entire, see, a sense of luxury in space when we are designing, it gets communicated by the materiality. One is how you are designing it. By designing, what are its length and breadth and the height of the space. So that is the spatials, what we call. Next is what we call the materiality. So what type of materials you are using. And there are three dimensions where you use the material. So one, you use materials at the floor level, right? Then you use materials at the wall level, then you use at the ceiling level. So as luxury goes up, materials are used on the floor, so anyways we have to use, everybody uses. But as luxury goes up, materials are used on the ceiling and on the walls as well. So here also you see the entire walls are cladded with different types of materials, very luxury and fine materials. So, and then you've got some paintings and all. This is how the space is also going to look. So this is the entrance lobby of the clubhouse, right? Next, this is another image. What you're seeing there are the doors for the multi-purpose hall, the party hall, what we call. So this space would be predominantly being used by residents who use the clubhouse, and the guests of residents who would be hosting the party at the multi-purpose hall. So you can see even the entire ceiling is, again, we use different types of cladded material for the ceiling cladding, right? So now that I've finished the entire arrival concept, right? Arrival at the gate, arrival at the lobby, and then arrival at the clubhouse. So something which is very important to me as a designer, right? Now let's get into the customer research, what we have done, right? And see, generally as builders, we give amenities, right? But this time we actually did a lot of home tours in this micro market, Kukatpalli micro market, before we did the design. And I myself have gone to a couple of homes also to speak to customers, what are their aspirations. See, one thing is, in this project Landmark, right, an average flat costs around 1.75 to 2 crores, mota-moti, plus, right? So essentially somebody who's buying a 2 crore apartment is essentially top 1 percentile of the economy. So matlab, in 100 people who are there, this guy is the number 1 person, the top 1 percentile of the economy. So we wanted to really cater to their aspirations, right? Current aspirations and even future aspirations. So that's why we did a thorough research on how they are using the space, how their kids are using the space, and what are the challenges they are facing. What of those challenges can be addressed in this? Not everything can be addressed, of course, but what is the level to which we can go down to? So I will be presenting the entire amenities, why we have given so and so amenity from a customer research standpoint. So in this, the first thing what we came across, so whenever we do any customer research, we segment people, we make them into different cohorts, right, different groups. So at time of research, we broke down the entire customers into 4 categories, right? The first category is the toddlers and the preteen category. Essentially, these are kids from the age group of probably 2 to 3 years to 10 to 12 years, right? These are, again, if you look at most of this community, like particularly Landmark, if you look at, almost flat key, if you think 4 to 5 people are staying, and we have got what, 670 flats, and approximately 3,300 people are going to stay, right? And we feel in the toddler and the preteen category, even per household, let's think slightly around 1 to 1.25, like some households might have 2, some households might have 1. So we are 800 people who will be staying in this community will belong to this customer category, the toddler and the preteen category. So essentially that's the broad age group what we have considered. And then we took the next stakeholders, right? Essentially these are the stakeholders for whom we are designing this, right? The next stakeholder is the teenagers. Again, this is probably from 12 years to 19 to 20-year age group, right? What is their general lifestyle like, and what sort of spaces do they need? And then we have the homeowner category, the adults, right? Probably most of the people who are buying here are 30 to probably 50, 55, like if the, and then the senior residents, right? So these might be the owner's parents, or in some cases the senior residents themselves are buying directly. So these are the 4 customer categories what we have broken down, and we have tried to design spaces. Again, when I'll be explaining about the spaces for each of this category, it does not mean that one of this category cannot use the other space. No, it's not like that. They can use the other space, but principally these spaces are designed by keeping them in mind. That's what it means. So let's get started with the toddler and the preteen age group. These will be our youngest set of residents, and one can expect around 20 to 25%, 25, 1/4 ankochu. 1/4 of the entire population of the project would belong to this customer category, 20%, approximately 20%. So what we have done for them, right? So these are the spaces what we have designed for toddlers and preteens. So first and foremost, at a project of this scale, we have designed one of the biggest kids play area, right? Approximately 10,000 square feet of surface play area is what we have established here, right? And again, we have roped in an exclusive child play area designer from Bangalore called Gudgudi, and the chief designer comes from NID, National Institute of Design. So she has designed the space. So one of the key consideration in this space is principally for that, I would say 3 years to 7 years ankonde predominantly, right, is the entire theme of space. So generally we have kids play areas, right? And when we were working out on that, we wanted a themed garden, because generally kids are very much inspired by storytelling, right? So that's where we designed. This would be the first Panchatantra themed play area. This is what we have again broken it down into 5 zones. One is free form of playing, right? Then iconic play structure, then adventure play area, then we have the toddler play area, and then we have the sand and water play. So again, it's not like just we have put in some swings or some slides and just given it for the namesake of giving. Each of this was designed by research which told us that, okay, kids in this age group are going to play like this. For those of you who know, these days kids are developing something called tactile sensitivity. I have my elder kid at 4.5 years, and you know, I understood the tactile sensitivity from there. Generally, when we as kids grew up, we used to get in touch with a lot of mud and, you know, soil and dirt, and that built, like, you know, that's how we used to engage with outside thing. But these days kids hardly get to, you know, touch any of these things, and touching and playing with this are very, very important part of a child growing. So we have put a sand pit there, and another important thing is a water play. When we spoke with these experts, one thing we realized is kids love playing with water, especially the younger ones, probably 7 years and below age group. So, and we have, you know, probably, sorry, let me go back, dedicatedly put that space, and we put a small zip line also, because kids like that, what do you say, that free gravity sort of weightless play, they like it. So that's what, again, that also we have put. So this is the Panchatantra themed part, and that's on the left top corner you can see some of the design diagrams, right? So again, a story is something which builds curiosity in their minds. So that's why we have set up this sort of thing. Again, it comes with various, you see that netted thing, so various forms, various motions they can play, and it has a small slide on the back side of it and everything. So this is a broad render of how that space is going to look. If you look at the top left corner, right, there are with a small green mat there, that's a small zip line. So, you know, they can feel that little sense of weightlessness. And then right at the center, you can see that's the Panchatantra themed slide, or that's the what we call iconic play structure. That's the lion, and then, you know, I think the mouse also should be there somewhere around. So that is more like and it has small slides. Again, this is mainly by keeping kids 3 to 7 years in mind. Then you got few other slides, and then if you see as you move closer to the right, and you see even behind the lion wala play structure, there's again vertical bamboo sort of thing which kids can just, you know, climb up, like a small baby scale, I would say kid scale mountain climbing. So that's how kids play, right? And as you come to the rightmost corner, you see there's a sand pit and there's a water body also, like a small water play feature, so that they love jumping in water, or maybe, you know, we are still exploring what all features would be coming there, like in the water play area. But this is broadly how we have designed that space, and this would be approximately 10,000 square feet in size. one of the biggest in this category of projects, right? So this is what we have done exclusively for a 3 to 7 year age group of kids, right? And then some of the thing I think can be used across. So next, let me talk about the spaces for teenagers. Teenagers under, like, this can be anywhere from again 10 to 20 year age group. Some of the kids, as they, once they move, particularly post like 7 to 8 years, that in the I've been seeing kids are exposed to sports amenities, right? So that's the next thing what I'm talking about, right? So regarding first sports, so we have something called indoor sports and something called outdoor sports. So in the indoor sports, mainly we have the badminton court and the TT room, right? So this is located in the 3rd floor of the clubhouse. So this is the plan of the 3rd floor of the clubhouse. So whatever one is highlighted, I'll be showing you the images of that particular space, how it's going to look and feel. So we have a completely air-conditioned badminton court, right? And with state-of-the-art flooring, and it's a professional court, so people of all age groups can play, and particularly kids in this age group would be more engaged with the space, right? So this is how the space is going to look like. Again, this is air conditioned, and the entire flooring would be that of any of our sports, any Olympic standard badminton court standards, right? That standard ki we will be designing the entire flooring and all. Of course, we will be coming up with the usage guideline, what footwear one should wear once closer to handover, probably, right? So this is how the space is going to look. It's double height again. I think 6 to 7 meters, whatever is the prescription for the space design, and it's air conditioned. This is how the space is going to look like. So this is where the TT tables are located. All of these 2 indoor sports are in the 3rd floor of the clubhouse. Then again, kids love outdoor play, a lot of outdoor play. So one key thing has been the cycling track. Again, the podium comes with a long enough cycling track to keep them engaged. So this is a sample render of how that space is going to look like. We have taken the image at one of the corner, right? Next is again sports. So tennis court. Again, tennis is something which a lot of the customers whom we researched in the concept stage have mentioned that tennis is a sport which they as adults also love to play, but they were mentioning like it's good if they can have such a space, particularly for their kids. So the tennis court is located there, right outside the clubhouse, left side of the clubhouse. And this is how the space is going to look like. As you can see, even the building on the backdrop, right? So even the windows, if you see, are large format windows. So that will get a lot of lighting into the apartment. And next, the entire balcony railings are also, we have gone for glass railing. So it adds to the element of luxury, and it really elevates the space and makes it look like a really, that's part of modern architecture as well. Again, and what you see behind is the clubhouse elevation from one of the angle. So the concept of this building from a facade perspective has been on the modern architecture side. So modern architecture uses a lot of straight lines and a lot of glass on the facade. So that's how the name comes from. These elements have been identified with modern architecture. And most of the posh buildings in, be it Singapore, a city from which I take a lot of inspiration, or even New York. I've been to New York quite a few times. A lot of the buildings have a lot of glass on them. So that's what gives it that really new age look. Right, then we've got a full-fledged basketball court and 2 cricket nets as well. So this is the image of how the space is going to look. That's a full-fledged basketball court, and right behind, if you see, there are the cricket nets. So outside, what you see is the metro line. This is the view from one of the balcony. Right. Next thing, when we further dwelled into the lifestyle of the teen kids, see, essentially these kids are now in the age of 5th class to probably 12th class. One, they're preparing for their board exams, and next they're preparing for a lot of competitive exams like I think NEET and IIT and MSET and stuff like that. So when we spoke with again customers, I remember quite a few mothers were telling that it would be good if kids can have a dedicated tuition center lantide, because these days two things are happening. One, a lot of kids are studying in groups, like a project based work, especially for those of them who go towards CBSE or IB schools. There is a lot of project based work, so kids tend to and given that there will be almost all another 800 to 1000 kids in this age group, definitely we expect that quite a few of them would be going to the same school or maybe even the same class. So to facilitate any tuition related activity or group based project work driven activity, we have given a tuition center that it's located in the ground floor of Tower B. Do we have the renders? I think the renders for this we didn't put, but this is the planlet. This is located on the Tower B ground floor. Again, this is centrally located so that you can come from any tower. It will be just few steps away from there. It will be easy for them to come over here. I believe we have not put the renders for this, but anyways, I can share it to you later. And then let's move to the next customer category, the third customer category, which is the adults, right? Or I would say our principal homeowners. So this age group is predominantly from 30 to around 50-55 years, right? This is that category. They are the people who are purchasing this house. So for them, again, all the sports facilities which I've shown before also is something, particularly the tennis court. The basketball court, of course, was more done with the, given with the kids in mind, because kids play more basketball. But for adults, tennis has been a major thing. So tennis court, what I've mentioned there also is for them, but exclusively for them. Again, catering into the new lifestyle change which has happened post-pandemic is the entire concept of co-working. In fact, when we did a survey last year, almost 83% of our customers have told that they are exposed to hybrid work, which is either totally work from home or working at least 1 day a week from home, 1 to 2 days a week from home. So again, majority of the people who have purchased here, close to 60% what has happened, 60-65% are from the IT industry. So we have given co-working spaces for them located in the Clubhouse. So this is in the 3rd floor of the Clubhouse, badminton court pakkan ostundi space. So we have given co-working spaces, so which people can book and directly go and use that space. So this would be much better than working from home. When we did research, working from your home, there is no dedicated space, and then even the isolation of just working in the home, staying in the home is also one thing. Whereas when you go to office, you meet your colleagues, and that entire social interaction also happens here, right? So that's what we wanted to replicate here. So we've given close to around 40 to 50 workstations, right? So that it, various residents can come and use that space. And for the people who are using, the elements of office can be, the environment of office can be brought over, right? So you have your other colleagues, or in this case, your residents with whom you can talk, and who knows, some good startup idea also might come out. In fact, I was reading an article where a lot of the startups in India of lately are coming from gated communities. It makes sense because a lot of IT customers end up staying here. So a lot of startup ideas also, you might even find your startup co-founder from this space. That would be super exciting. But yeah, so this space is there in the 3rd floor of the Clubhouse. This is how it's going to look. This is a small, I would say, a reception or the entry part of the space. This is a double height one. So, and again, this can be treated as a lounge space of the co-working. See, another thing in co-working also, when we have seen, myself been to WeWork and e-spaces to understand, there are the social pockets where people can go, like, go and interact with other people in the facility, right? Like essentially there's a cafeteria also there. Here we are not giving a cafeteria because it won't survive. It has 2 less workstations. But the idea of a lounge with furniture and a double height space, so that when people are just taking some break, they can just come here and chit chat with the other resident who is using the same space as well. So this is the lobby space of the co-working space. There's just images of that space. And you can see the glass door in the backdrop, right? That's the co-working space. And this is how that space is going to look. Again, we have made sure, if you look at some of the tables, we have made sure that privacy and especially silent zone. This is like a silent zone, because what happens typically in an office, most of your team would be working on the same project, whereas here there are people who are working in different offices and different companies. So this we have segregated out like a silent zone. And I think one which is not covered in this render also, we are giving around, I think 3 to 4 Zoom booths. That has been another key functionality of a co-working space, because a lot of people do VCs, right? Virtual conferences like video calls. So for them, there are separate Zoom booths, which is, I don't think it's covered in the render, but it's there in the plan, right? So people can again use that in case they are attending any video call, then they can just go into the Zoom booth and use it. I think there, what you see that 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, these are the Zoom booths. So you can see, right, the entire space is thoughtfully done. It's not like we just wanted to give some workstations and call it co-working space. No, that's not how, even if we give space like that, people won't use it. We have to, again, this doesn't mean we have taken all the use cases into concern, but whatever came out of our research and whatever was possible, we did put in. So the level of detailing of this, you can see, is as good as any top-notch co-working space out there. We have given a reception or a lounge area where people can go and chit-chat with their other residents or other people using the co-working space. Then we have given the silent zone area where people can do their self-work, whatever work they are planning to do there. And then we have given a Zoom booths where people can do any virtual conference or any calls or any that sort of stuff. These are the main functionalities of what's there in a co-working space. So that detailing is what is very important for us. It's not just giving a space. Edo oka 10 or 20 workstation ichesi the co-working space ante atla nadavadu. And I mean, even while using, you won't like it. So we have taken every aspect of how a real co-working space functions, and we have tried to bring in as many of those things possible, because you give the convenience, right? Like suddenly, you guys have a late Sunday night and tomorrow Monday you wanted to work from home, right? So ikkada work chesna, meeku office lo work chesna, same level anpiyali. Me productivity gaani, the entire feel of it. So that was the key intention behind this. And next is again the gym and calisthenics, which will be predominantly used by this age group. Again, this facility is given in the ground floor of Tower B. So Tower B ground floor, we are not putting any apartments. We are giving various amenities and various features, because Tower B is most centrally located, right? And even access to that from various towers, and you can see the internal walkway also in the image. So this is the floor plan of the gym and calisthenics, approximately around 3,500 square feet in size. So this is how the space is going to look. Again, we have taken very lighter tones and lighter palettes, and even the flooring also is designed in a, I would say in an appropriate manner. Wherever it needs to be a rubber flooring, we are giving that. Wherever it needs to be a different type of flooring, we are provisioning for that. This is a small reception, what we're giving there. And you can see, right, every element of every space, we have designed it to the maximum level possible. As a resident walks into it, they need to feel that element of that luxury and that sense of, okay, I've come to a really high quality space. High quality space is very, very important. It's not about just giving something. It's about giving things which people can really use. When it's really good, we tend to go there again and again. When it's not so good, we don't go there again and again. So all the detailing has been taken care of, right? This is the calisthenics side. So which is more like body weight, something which is in madhyalo the trending, this format of workout, right? Next is the yoga studio, yoga and the Zumba studio. Particularly, we have been seeing our women customers use this more for Zumba, aerobics, and even kids guda actually. They also use this space a lot more. And generally, when there's any community event coming up, when we researched, I've seen people going through practices here. Kondardi pellil aitunnappudu sangeet dances, all of those also, they try to book out the space and do. So this is again located in the Clubhouse, the yoga studio. I would say more like a multi-purpose studio. Yoga anede kaadu, akkada Zumba, aerobics, various type of things we can do. Right? This is located in the first floor of the clubhouse, right? And that is on the plan, what you can see. These are the images of the space. Again, we have made sure that soothing undi, like it's soothing and calm, and at the same time, if somebody wants to do like a high energy workout, even that is also there. It's got a small outdoor balcony also. So in case somebody just wants to, they're having an intense workout or a fitness session, they just want to go out, take a breather, that also is there. That door what you see straight, that's a way for the balcony, outdoor balcony. Right. If you see to the right corner, right, it's got like a small stepped seating also with some plantation there. So people, those who have come early for their class, they want to wait, that's where they can even do that. Right, so this is what has been the yoga studio. Next is the salon. Again, something which is very, very important for your day-to-day utilities. Like supermarket, salon, ivanni endante manaki monthly, or I would say not monthly, weekly, maybe supermarket. Salon is something monthly, all of us have to go and, to keep ourselves groomed. So again, the salon also we have given, and a separate men and a women section. So both are separate sections. Again, this also is located in the first floor of the clubhouse. And these are the renders. And again, this space, once we move closer to the handover, we will be tying up with a vendor. Right? We have partnerships with quite a few vendors in different projects. So that, the partnership would be done once we are closer to the handover phase. So this is the reception part of the salon. And these are the internal booths. So the space would be coming again 95% similar to what you guys are seeing here. It comes with a separate men and a separate women's section, keeping privacy into mind. Right, next is again the swimming pool, something which is very important and something which we, all of us use more frequently. Again, a lot of kids also use this. So these are some of the renders of that space. Some of the landscape features might change as we go forward in this area because we wanted to keep the swimming pool little more private. So we might be taking little larger trees, particularly on the drive, that walking path there. So to give an element of privacy. Right, so these are some of the renders. Right, next, another critical, another important customer category or a stakeholder is the senior residents. And we anticipate around 10 to 12% of the overall community population to be in this customer category. In fact, quite a few of the customers who have purchased, particularly NRIs, they have purchased this house by keeping their parents in mind. Of course, their idea was, okay, day to day our parents would be using it. When we come to India, then we also would be using it with them. But principally, I'm buying this for my parents as an upgrade. And they have been staying in the neighborhood and they wanted to upgrade into this. So this is a 60-plus-year-old customer category. So here one important thing we have placed is a cultural workshop area. I think it's wrongly mentioned here, but yeah, again the cultural workshop area is something when we went to different projects, particularly what I've shown in the yoga room, right? And when we researched people, they were telling that the yoga room is, if we can provide any outdoor space rather than an air-conditioned space, it would be more better. Whereas they were telling for activities like Zumba, aerobics or dancing, an indoor studio like what I've mentioned, that one is beneficial, but for yoga, can you give a more outdoor space? And also when we spoke to mothers, they were telling like if we can have any sort of a space where principally, where kids can engage in more Indian format of arts, like Zumba even a more Western format of dancing, right? Indian format of dancing like Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi. If you can give any space which more imbibes that sort of activities, it would be really appreciated. So we have given this space again right behind the tennis court. So we call it the cultural workshop area. So people can conduct yoga classes here. People can conduct any dance sessions or any storytelling sessions for their kids. These days storytelling is also picking up as an hobby. where professional storytellers come and read out stories to kids, right? So we call it, so hence we named it Cultural Workshop. This is how the place looks like. This is a night render of the space. So I would say it's more like a semi-outdoor space. The indoor studio, what you have seen, that's air-conditioned space. This is out in the open, so amongst the landscape. Particularly in the not summer months, this can be used a lot more, right? It's and you can see it's fairly open, so that well ventilated and all. Like, and if in case all the senior citizens also, in case they want to meet their, meet their cohort, meet their group to, and just sit around and chat, again, this space can be used like that as well. But yeah, particularly I think this we have wrongly mentioned, it is part of the kids section. I think we misplaced it here. Yeah, so this is again another render. And I don't think we mentioned it here, but another key thing which we have given in this facility, particularly from the senior citizen standpoint. When I went to the US, when I was doing a roadshow there and I was meeting our customers and prospective customers, most of them were narrating me a story, like, how they are staying there and their parents are staying in India, and how they were concerned, I'll come to the temple, how they are concerned about their, I'll maybe stand on this slide. Yeah, you can put me on slide. Yeah, how they are concerned about their parents, mainly from a health standpoint, right? So I think Indulo we forgot to mention, but yeah. So particularly with regarding to the senior citizens, when we did research, okay, we realized that the requirements from a health emergency are very, very important. That needs to be taken care. So what we have done here is we have given a dedicated clinic space in the centrally located in the Tower B ground floor, right, where doctors would be coming on rotation basis and or on appointment basis, right, and people can get their any regular ailments and things like that checked. And we will be signing up with a healthcare service provider closer to handover, and there who will be providing 24/7 trained paramedic. So in case of any health emergency, there is a trained paramedic 24/7 who will be staying in that clinic area, in the clinic, so they can assist in case of any emergency. And next thing, there would be a ambulance which would be stationed in basement 1 24/7. So in case of again any health emergency, there will be a trained paramedic and there will be an ambulance. So people can be taken to hospital within like 10 to 15 minutes. So the entire aspect of health was something which was very important on the minds of our NRI customers, particularly from the parent standpoint of view, because they're there, they can't, they can't be, that was their concern on mind. In case of an emergency, what happens? Generally, manaki, like in case of emergency, we need the first responder, right? Somebody whom I, as a kid staying in the US, I can just call out to immediately and like, can you quickly go and see what's happening? So that is what was the main thing what we did from our senior citizen standpoint of view. And next thing, when we again further researched the 60+ age customer category, we realized that a lot of them these days are exposed to physiotherapy, right? Physiotherapy, what we are realizing, has become more and more a common part of our modern lifestyles. So again, we are giving a dedicated physiotherapy studio in the ground floor of Clubhouse, right beside the gym. This clinic and physiotherapy are in close proximity. They are like few steps away from each other, so that this can even physiologically, it can keep them active. So because one thing we have realized is, as people cross 60, one, they are retired, right? When they retire, suddenly there's a huge time vacuum in their lives. And and how the time vacuum, like what I mean by time vacuum is, when you're working, you have a 10 hours in a day, you're busy with your work. Once you retire, that's gone. So there's a huge time vacuum, and how do you fill that up? So people do a lot of activities like walking, they go with their friends and these sort of things. And as as they do more walking and they start developing this joint pains and things like that, slowly they stop participating in these activities, and then it pushes them to more and more loneliness. So we wanted to see how we could tackle it to the extent possible. So that's why we have given a physiotherapy studio. And again, closer to handover, we would be tying up with a studio, with a service provider who would be holding classes, sessions, and various things like that. And one more thing, even in the clinic, any sort of ఈ మధ్యలో a lot of us are using home-based blood collection, sample collection. In case people feel okay, inti varaku enduku annappudu, they can even go to the clinic and give the sample collection. There's a sample collection room also which is there in the clinic. So the entire aspect of health and both from an emergency standpoint and from a physiological standpoint, like how to make sure you are healthy and moving. So both of these have been taken care, particularly for the senior citizens. And this use case I learned when I met our NRI customers. And again, in the ASBL home app, right, there would be a health emergency icon also which is given. In case of any health emergency icon, the resident can click it, and immediately they'll get a call from the paramedic confirming emergency, and they'll, in case they don't pick up, they'll just rush to the house, and they'll be 24/7, so one need not worry about at any emergency from any standpoint of time. Next is Temple. Again, this is something which a lot of our customers have asked. In fact, this amenity is something which we incorporated purely on the base of our customer requirements in various projects, and now we are making it more like a norm because customers keep asking us for it. We are giving a temple in this project, right, which would be built after getting the occupancy certificate. Probably 9 months after after getting OC, it takes around 9 months to build the temple, 9 months to 12 months period, right? Next, some more amenities. These are again mainly thought from the aspect of what we in ASBL call practical luxury. So what is defined as practical luxury ante? So basically in our day-to-day life, we have to buy groceries, right? We have to wash clothes, and all these sort of various activities, like utilitarian activities, what we do, right? So the idea is these facilities first need to be provided in the community, and second thing is they need to be provided. See, in fact, a lot of builders also do this. This is not something new. But what's new here is providing them in such a locations where people can easily reach out. Right, ఇప్పుడు సూపర్ మార్కెట్ అనుకోండి, we are giving it again right in the Tower B ground floor. So as you can see, again, Tower B is centrally located, both for the supermarket servicing standpoint and even for the customers to reach there. So you just take, the idea is if in 100 steps people should be able to reach out to these utilities. Again, this is not to encourage sitting more, but it's to add convenience. Of course, we want residents to probably walk and work out and stay fit, but purely thinking from a convenience standpoint, strategically putting these spaces at such locations so that it's easily accessible to anybody, rather than putting in one particular corner of the project. Generally, that's how it's done, and or on different floors. We made sure that we put it centrally located. When it's centrally located, a lot of people come and use the service. Thereby, the service provider makes good business so that he will continue to serve the residents. If not, another thing with these sort of spaces, another problem is we give a facility, somebody runs, and it's not making financial viability, and then people simply, the service provider leaves. So all of those things we try to take care in the design. Again, laundry rooms is provided in the basement, right, where ironing bias also would be there, right? Pharmacy and car wash area, physiotherapy, what I have mentioned, 24/7 ambulance. So this all form part of what we call practical luxury, the concept of practical luxury, your ability to reach to any space within 100 steps. That's the thing, right? Next, Clubhouse. Again, some of the images here might be repetitive. I would have covered it in the arrival experience section or the indoor sports section. Those I'll quickly skim through. But this is to give you a detailed, thorough, floor-by-floor explanation of the clubhouse design. Right, so it's a 43,000 square feet clubhouse, G+4. This is the one of the elevation render. Right, as I've mentioned earlier, I've shown this earlier. Right, this is the entrance part of the right outside the entrance. Next, so let's talk about the ground floor of the clubhouse. So the ground floor of the clubhouse essentially has two important zones. One is the entire entrance or the entrance zone, right? Now this would be used by the residents who are using the clubhouse and the guests of these residents who are hosting a party in the multi-purpose hall. So in the ground floor, we are giving the grand entrance lobby and the multi-purpose hall. These take up almost majority of the usable space. And of course, the service space, again, the clubhouse comes with its own utility area like wash basins and all, and even your kitchen pantry area. You will not be allowed to cook there, of course, for safety reasons, but it can be used for preheating and plating purposes. So there is a pantry which is attached to the clubhouse. So so the clubhouse, the party hall, it comes with a pantry area also, which can be used for plating and preheating purposes, right? So the party hall and the entrance lobby take up major space of the ground floor. So this is the imagery of the clubhouse lobby, the clubhouse entrance. Again, I've discussed this earlier, so I'll move a little quickly. Again, from various angles we have done that. We have tried to, in whatever is the given space, we have tried to put a good amount of furniture so that it can accommodate for seating. Right, next is the banquet hall. The banquet hall here again is covered, air conditioned and double height, right? And it has a capacity comfortably for 150 packs. This is the imagery of that space. So any sort of a family gathering, right? Gropravesham nunchi, any sort of kids' birthday parties, or it could be any other family occasion, any special day like a marriage celebration day, or a pre-marriage events could untai, like sort of an engagement or pelli choopulu, all of those things can be done here. So even you can see again the entire space, ceiling, gilling or just it comes with different types of materiality, and it's not like a plain ceiling. It aesthetically designed, so that again to thrill the residents, so that they get a sense of the the aspiration of the property. This is another image. The space itself is so beautiful that you don't need to do any major decorations as well. So it's it's again designed in such a way. Right, now let's go to the first floor. So the first floor, again the major spaces are your yoga studio or air conditioned. Again, this is air conditioned. Your salon space. These two are majorly there in your first floor. So I've shown this earlier, so I'll move through this quickly. And one more thing, you can see it's quite a big space. So it's quite a few people can can do the activity together at the same point of time. Right, this is the salon space. Again here we have a separate men and a women's section. Right, now the second floor. Right, second floor we have given 11 guest rooms. Right, a few of them are the premium variant and few of them are the suites variant. So I'll show you some of the samples. So predominantly this is for guest rooms, and again this is the project with the highest amount of resident to guest room ratio in the city. There are, so for every approximately 60 residents we are giving a guest room, because when we again did research, especially those people who are staying in other gated communities, they were mentioning that most of the time the guest rooms are booked out and we are not able to book it for our family member or our friend who has come to stay with us. So here we have given 11. This is the best ratio in the entire city. So 11 guest rooms we are giving at just 676 flats. So that's approximately every 60 flats there is a guest room. And using the ASBL home app, customers can book this and use it, right? So this is some of the imagery of these rooms. Again, it is designed by keeping in mind a 5-star hotel. That's what I would say has been the predominant inspiration for these spaces, because whenever I've realized that there is a concept called house proud, which I'm seeing evolving particularly amongst the younger age homeowners, so 30 to 40 age group, where they want to showcase their property and their house to their friends and their family. So we wanted to give a reason to them to showcase this, and again we are designing for the, as I've mentioned earlier, for the top 1% of the economy, right? So we wanted to make sure that the space is aspirational and well thought through, and it is a matter of pride for them to show it to their friends and family, right? So this is some of the interiors. Again, it comes with a TV, and just like any other hotel room, it comes with all that, most of that facilities and features. Right, now we are moving to the third floor. Third floor essentially has two spaces. One is the badminton court, fully air-conditioned badminton court, the indoor space, sports area, the badminton court and the TT tables. And the other is the co-working space. So this is the badminton court. I've mentioned this earlier as well. Again, co-working space, so around 40 workstations istunnamo and 4 to 5 Zoom booths apart from the lounging area. The lounging area is over on top of this, right? Again, this also I've covered earlier. This is the lobby space. The most important space, I would say, this was something which we got it out of our research, is that when we met a lot of people, particularly women and I would say the 30 to 40 age group adults. So they were telling that generally over the weekends we have friends and family over, which is not like a big gathering, but more like a 15 people or a 20 people style gathering, right? Maybe it could be for watching the weekend, maybe IPL game చూడడానికి ఉండొచ్చు, or maybe అందరు కలిసి some movie చూడనికే, or it could be even like your kid's birthday. Sometimes our kid's birthday we just have few family members over, right? Like our close group of 4 to 5 families over. So, and especially for women also, when we spoke, a lot of the people, they were mentioning about kitty parties. Again, that's something which was a very important aspect of their lifestyle. So we collated all these requirements and came up with something called the big living room. The idea was, see, essentially మన ఇంటికి ఇప్పుడు we have we have friends or family coming over to our house. We socialize in the living room, right? The living room is essentially a space where your friends, family and your family socializes. But a living room is designed for a family scale usage. Family scale usage అంటే more like 4 to 6 people household ki cater చేస్తూ ఆ living room sizes are designed. What if 20 people come, which is essentially what 4 to 5 families ka gathering. So that is when we came up with, okay, then your living room will not be sufficient. It's not designed for that, right? And that is why we came up with this concept called the big living room. This is located in the 4th floor of the Clubhouse. The reason for it to be in the 4th floor also, we wanted it to be a little secluded and private space, so that people will be having their friends and family. In case they get little loud also, it will not disturb the other residents. That is why we have selected the 4th floor. So this is essentially when you have friends over for your weekend game night, or you have friends for your kids, like a small kids birthday party, or just weekend, just relatives and friends are coming over, you can book out this space and you can use it. And another important thing which I also got particularly from our women customers is the concept of potlocking. These days, especially during kitty parties time, or generally when people meet, cooking together also has become quite an interesting social activity. And particularly in the Kukatpalli neighborhood, when we were doing research, a lot of our male customers also have mentioned that weekends I cook, and I do, and we cook, and particularly we do it as a hobby. So there is a good amount of crowd in Kukatpalli who love cooking on weekends as a hobby. So this again comes with a cooking facility as well, so people can potluck, and it's like a mini gathering, to have an intimate gathering. It's just like whatever party when you do in a small household level, like 3-4 families, instead of doing it in the house and worrying about all the cleaning aspects and all, you can book out this space. Again, it would be a fully service space. So after you guys leave, the entire cleaning and all would be done by the community housekeeping people. And you can book out the space and game night to host cheskochu, anything, because off lately lifestyles la people are having more of this mini get-togethers, or mini like 20-25 people get-togethers on a more frequent basis. So what we are calling it the living room. It comes with indoor and it has a big balcony also, so people can go out. And another important aspect also here, by taking permission from the concerned authorities, people can consume alcohol here. Because another thing in communities we were seeing is a lot of the guest rooms are booked out by residents. They call their friends and have alcohol in that space. So because in a community there is no space where alcohol can be had in a social manner, not again like a binge drinking or something, but in a social manner. So we do not encourage any such activities in the guest rooms. Guest rooms are purely for lodging purposes. So this year people can, again, taking approvals from the concerned, whatever is the government law and concerned authorities, they can serve alcohol here to their friends in a social manner, right? So this is how the space is going to look, and you can see in the top right corner, so that's where the kitchen also comes. Of course, utensils the corresponding users will be bringing in, but any potlucking meeru cheddam anukunna or any sort of thing, this space is like treat it like your extended home. That's how I would like to call it. It has a big table also where people can have dinner or food or even play games, because another thing has been Tambola has been a very prominent game when people play, when various, when they meet with their family, extended family. So these are some of the renders of the space. చిన్న చిన్న బర్త్డే పార్టీస్ కూడా చేసుకోవచ్చు ఇక్కడ, అరౌండ్ అదే 25 packs ka size. It has, again, it's a TV covered here. Okay, it's not. Again, it has a large TV also. I don't know if it's covered in the render. So at most of you I know are, IPL fans or Pro Kabaddi, these sort of games can be viewed. We will be putting a large TV also. See, we'll be placing a TV. And outside you can see a balcony space as well. And again, in this floor, this is the only amenity we are giving. So it's quite separately stacked away so that it won't disturb the regular residents, the other residents, during the regular course of the day, right? So this has, in fact, this has been a major learning for us from that area, like how. And again, kitty parties can be hosted here. When kitty parties happen, I've seen women do potlucking, so they can come here, jointly cook and make it a very social affair, right? Next is the unit plans. Again, I'll quickly go through this. So essentially the unit plans, we have 3 variants: the 3 BHK, the 3.5 BHK and 4 BHK. So we do have a design thesis again for why we are taking this unit plan, like this particular format. So particularly the 3 BHK unit plans we have designed by keeping the millennial customer in mind. So essentially this customer is somebody who's in their early 30s to probably late 30s, and their family structure is predominantly going to be a wife, husband and 2 young kids probably in the age group of anywhere from 3 to 7. So for this customer category, mainly we have the 3 BHK sizes ranging from 1650 to 2000 square feet. Then we have the 3.5 BHK. What we have seen is when we're meeting the 45-year-old customer, particularly by the time somebody is 45 to 50 years old, their family structure is becoming like, okay, there are the wife and husband and 2 kids, and either one of the kid is coming more towards a teen or has been a preteen, sort of age group. Like once kids start crossing the 10 to 12-year age barrier, they typically tend to ask for their own room and things like that. So we realize that in a 3-bedroom, what happens is the 1 room goes for the master, right? And the other 2 rooms, if they are gone for the 2 kids, there's no space essentially when the guest comes. Then either of the kid has to, move into other room or things like that. For that, we designed the 3.5 BHK, predominantly for families who have the, I would say teenage or preteen age group kids. So there is 1 master bedroom and there is 1 mini bedroom which can be used as a study room or which can be used as a kid room, right? Which is probably, depending on flat to flat, anywhere from 80 to 100 square feet, right? Which can be used as an extra room. So, and then your guest comes, you still have a primary room for the guest. So that's why the 3.5 has been designed mainly for those families. And now we have very limited exclusive inventory for the 4 BHK. So 4 BHK, what we have seen is particularly in Kukatpalli micro market, we have seen a good number of parents are also staying with the apartment owner, right? Particularly when people have crossed, when the owner of the house is above 50-55 age group, we've seen that their parents are in the 70-75 year age group. So they also tend to stay with the family. So andukani we have given 4 bedrooms, and in this particular unit plan, if you see, the parents' bedroom also has been given as big a size as the master bedroom. This was a very interesting feedback given by, again, some of our customers who were mentioning that when the parents are staying with them, there is some back of the mind thing that, my parents are staying in a small bedroom and things like that. So we've made sure we cater to that subtle aspect, subtle requirement. So in the 4 BHK plan, the parents' bedroom what we have given is also as big as the master bedroom, so that the parents also have a comfortable, their space. So that's how we have designed the entire, the unit plans. So it's catered to the young parents, It's catered to the 45-year age group. Young parents are anywhere from 30 to late 30s, and middle-aged, I would say, is more like parents who have teenage kids, probably more from 45 to 50, 55, and then probably families where even the parents are also staying with the master. So that's the unit configuration what we have done here, right? Next, some of the important points or salient features I wanted to mention about the unit plan design. So two key aspects for us. See, if you look at the design at the master plan level, particularly on the ground floor, right? We have given so many amenities in the ground floor because each amenity gathers more people. More the people on the ground or the podium floor, more better vibration, like, what we call vibe. The better the vibe of the entire ground floor. It won't look calm and it won't look isolated. So we wanted to build a podium floor which is buzzing with a lot of people, hence can cater to a lot of social interactions, and community can have a great life. They can meet different people and have fun. Whereas the minute you come into towers, the key concept has been privacy. Because one should have, yes, social life is a very important aspect of community living. So that's what we cater to at the ground floor. And once you come into the tower, it's privacy because it's family living, right? So some of the key things what we have done with respect to the privacy standpoint, right at the entrance of the flats, for majority of the flats, almost all I would say 60% odd flats, we could do a separate foyer based entrance. So you can see there is that extension of the corridor where people can, where it runs. So the house has a little, their door is not directly opening into the corridor. Again, this is not possible everywhere. Wherever possible, we could do that foyer based entry. So you have a sort of a exclusive entry as you enter your apartment. Right. Next important and a very unique feature in this project, what we call private windows. Meer chala dagarlalla, particularly windows which are looking into the apartments, right? All the windows overlook into the next apartment, immediate next apartment, like 10 feet open to sky gap lo unnai, you directly look into the neighbor's apartment. So here what we have done is we have made sure, again, it's not possible to do everywhere. Again, close to 60% of the windows what we have mentioned, 60% of the windows in different apartments, we made sure that they are not directly overlooking into the neighbor's apartment. Again, which is a very key aspect of privacy. In some cases, we could totally avoid the window opening into another window, thereby giving a total privacy. The window just does not look into any other window. It has total privacy. In some cases, the window doesn't directly look into another's window, but crisscrosses, so there is no direct, visuals possible. Like there's no direct vision possible. So this has been, carefully crafted in our plans. So we could achieve it around 55 to 60% of the windows. Right, at a project scale, we were able to make it private windows. So privacy has been the important, I would say, design philosophy at a floor plan level. Right. Next, one of the most important specification, again, which when we met our customers, something which, from the aspiration standpoint is the flooring. That's something which is very, very important, right? So here we are doing double as better as any competition in the neighborhood. Any product in the neighborhood is giving, if you look at the specification also, they're giving an 80 by 80 tile, whereas we are giving double the size, an 80 by 160 size tile, right? It will look more like a, what we call large format tile or a marble-like tile. It's a marble-like tile. So it's double the size. It will definitely make your entire space look much better. So in the entire common areas of the house, this is the tile. In the bedrooms and those parts, we are giving a 80 by 120 tile, a 4 by 2 tile. This is a 5 by, a 60 by 120 tile in bedrooms and those areas. And in the common areas of the house, drawing, living, dining, idantha we are giving double the size. Right? This will make the space look much bigger and much better. So the minute you come to the house, compared to any other product in the neighborhood, this is going to look much more luxury. So one last thing before I go. So this is all about the product, right? So how the space is designed, what are the features, and who are the users. Now let me give you a little glimpse of how life in ASBL communities is going to be. Right, so we recently handed over, a few months back our ASBL Spire, and we recently celebrated Diwali. So we've got a small snippet of that event. So, same facilities also we would be, what's up with the video? It's there? After this? Okay, so that video is placed after this. So yeah, so in conclusion, this is why we are calling ASBL Landmark the great upgrade. One thing is the handcrafted unit plans. Next is more amenities per flat, I would say more than per SFT, per household. See, even in terms of amenity, right, corresponding to the neighborhood, the different sort of projects which are coming out in the neighborhood, this project has the best ratio when it comes to tennis courts. So we are giving one tennis court for every 676 flats, whereas most of the competition in the neighborhood is giving one tennis court at an average of 1200 flats ki oka tennis court istundu. We are doing double the better there. We are doing for every 676 one tennis court. And the same thing with the basketball court. Most of the competition is giving for every 1000 to 1200 flats one basketball court. We are doing that at 676, right? So in terms of amenities also, we wanted to, that's why we are calling it the great upgrade. You should be able to get what you want much more conveniently. And next is, of course, what I've mentioned in the beginning, right? The location from two standpoints. One is your ability to go to any part of the city. You can just hop on the metro and hop off. Second is the mall, right? You can just walk to the mall. It's just like 50 or 100 steps away. That's what makes the location like super. So these three things at a broad scale, right, is what makes Landmark the great upgrade, right? So I think now I'll just play a small video of how ASBL Spire celebrated their Diwali, the last Diwali.
At ASBL, celebrations are unlimited. Come celebrate with your extended family. The event so far?
We are happy with it. This is the first time I have seen such an event in our community. It's very great.
The team has outdone themselves in terms of all the vendors that they got.
I mostly like the painting thingy and also the magic show.
Our first Diwali in our new apartment. Yeah, event is very lively, very energetic. So far, all the activities that we are seeing, we're really enjoying it.
I think the event is very lit.
Me the same. We are really enjoying, especially this is the first event, second event, but this is a hit.
I think the lighting, the setup, the way they managed to get a DJ, all of that I think is very nice. Wishing you all a very happy Diwali.
So yeah, so that was a recent Diwali which we celebrated at Spire. Right, again, there will be many more such events which we'll be celebrating all across all our communities, not just Spire. But yeah, this was the one. Yeah, so before I move on to the Q&A session, for those of you, I believe some of you are prospective customers also who have attended this. So in case you want to know anything more details about the property or about the project, any particular specific questions, you can please reach out to our sales managers, Prithvi, Likita and Abhilash. Their numbers are mentioned. I'll just stay on the slide for 30 seconds so that you can take a snap in case those of you want it. Right, so I'll move on to the last and final part, the Q&A. Typically this is the most engaging part of the entire presentation. So yeah, you can scan that and you can post questions and I'll answer those questions. So please do that. I'll just be back in 2 minutes, right? Okay, first question, Miss Nikhila. Right, I understand that you place significant emphasis on arrival experience and premium facilities. However, the true arrival experience begins when one enters the unit itself, and ceiling height plays a crucial role. Absolutely, ma'am, you're right. But however, we had to design the space keeping the height restriction in mind. Right, in Kukatpalli micro market, particularly in this area, there is a 60-meter height airport restriction, right? Because of which we have to take the unit, the slab to slab, right? What we took at approximately 3 meters, right? And after that, yes, the 3 meter is slab to slab. In that, just like in any other project, there will be a slab thickness of close to 125 mm, and then the flooring would be around 70 mm. So post that would be a net height. Yeah, so that's what we are giving the height as. So the height here is comparable to any project in the neighborhood, right? Next one. Can I come and visit other ASBL buildings to feel the ambience, feeling good? Absolutely, sir. Your name is not mentioned, but yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to our sales manager. I've displayed their names and phone numbers. You can reach out to them and they will arrange a site visit for any of our project. If you want to see a completed project, I would say you can go and take a look at ASBL Spire. If you want to see under construction, you can take a look at Spectra, which is like 70-75% completed, and Loft is like 30% completed. Yeah, definitely I would encourage you to look at our projects and then make a decision. Right, next, tennis court we need to design for multi-purpose for pickleball as well. Definitely, sir. I'll keep this in mind. However, I have to, take the opinion from the sports facility consultant. So that guy, I mean, they'll have the subject matter expertise on whether that particular flooring would be sufficient for, playing tennis and pickleball as well. However, I'll take this as a feedback and see if it's possible. We would love to do it because pickleball has been picking up off lately. It's quite a rage now. So if possible, we'll definitely try to do it, right? Next, puja room is not Vastu compliant in 4 BHK. Sir, Mr. Praveen Sharma. Sir, basically with respect to Vastu, sir, at the macro level, we are 100% Vastu compliant, right? We have we take opinion from our in-house Vastu person, right? But however, Vastu, I've seen it also as a very subjective thing. For some people, some of the things as per their, understanding or as per their their Vastu Shastra suggestions, it might not be exactly as per that, but that is subjective. At a macro scale, we have designed everything as per Vastu. Some of the thing which is very unique to that particular family, now that we will not be able to do it at a project scale, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Pawan, do you have a pet park or no? No, sir, we don't have a pet park in this project, right? However, given that there's a street right outside, maybe residents can use that at maybe off-peak hours. But yeah, there is no pet park in this community, right? Which block is scheduled to receive handover first in March 28? Sir, the entire project would be, all the blocks would be handed over, sir. So it's not like one project will give early and one project will give later. Off lately, we are handing over all the towers at same time. However, definitely at time of handover, all the 676 apartments we can't do in a single day. So there'll be a phased manner, which will be like every 15 days or 20 days or a monthly manner. But all of them pretty much would be at the same time, right? Next, I'm an NRI looking to invest. What kind of return can I expect? So definitely you can be expecting a very superior range returns here. Now exactly how much that would turn into amount, it's more of a speculative matter, and I might not be able to, it won't be right from my part to tell. In case I'm right, it will be good. In case I'm wrong, unnecessarily, it wouldn't, I don't want to get into the speculation side. However, as a brand, I have mentioned all the things, what, the entire products, the entire features of the product I have explained. I would recommend you look into others, competitors things also, and study the neighborhood for yourself, and you try to get an estimation. But definitely 2-3 things I'll say. Any property which is bang on the metro has a huge advantage from a property value perspective. And next, whenever a mall comes into the neighborhood itself, the property price goes up. Whereas in our case, the mall is not in the neighborhood, it's our neighbor. So definitely whatever the neighborhood does, we would be doing better than them. So, but regarding exact future values, I would leave that to your decision, right? Next, are you provided projected balconies? I don't know what exactly you mean by this. So if it means projected from the building line, yes, some of the balconies are projected from the building line, some of them are not, but that is purely keeping the elevation in perspective, elevation and the balcony experience. Yes, some places they are, some places they are not, right? Next, Mr. Mridul, the waitlist process for ASBL Landmark was surprisingly efficient. The sales kept us updated at every step and transparency was refreshing. Thank you so much, sir. We are trying to get more better and move to a more digital approach so that it becomes much more seamless and easier to do business with us. But thank you for the feedback. But yeah, we are trying to get even better at that. Thank you. Next, Mr. Chandra. Are we going to have Manjeera water connection to this project? Also, how is the groundwater quality as this being it's a very good question, sir. So basically with regarding to the water supply, right, there are two sources of supply. Primary source of supply is the government water which will come through the pipeline, right? Now, pipeline, as per the process, we would be, applying for that pipeline works after getting OC. That's how the process is. That would be the major source of water. The secondary source of water is the groundwater, where we lay, bore points at various locations in the site, as suggested by the geotechnical folks, right? So that would be the secondary source of water. And then what happens, all this water first comes into the tank, and then we, not only our project, every community, every project, a gated community has mechanical equipment called WTP, what we call water treatment plant. What this does is, it treats this water for domestic purposes. So domestic means for shower and that scale purposes, right? There is a certain standard to which the water would be treated. Again, the test reports would be periodically shared with the residents for every 10-15 days. Again, sometimes people think that the entire hardness of the water will go away. No, it's not like that. There are certain prescriptive levels which the government has given. So on basis of that, this machinery works and it will treat the water. And that treated water is supplied for domestic purposes. That is for taking shower and probably cleaning the house and that sort of thing. For people who will need for drinking purposes, there will be two sources. One, you can use an AquaGuard in your kitchen. Or second thing, you can take those, the subscription for those Aquafina and those sort of things. So it's up to the residents. So whatever water we are treating and supplying is for domestic purposes. So this is a very important distinction one needs to say, and it's the same in all the communities as well, right? So again, even the industrial beat, even given that it's an industrial area also, the water, once it goes to a WTP, the standards as prescribed by the government, that would be achieved. So one can be rest assured, and even the test reports would be presented to the community every 15 days or monthly, whatever is the cycle. Right? Do you have any 4 BHK inventory left in the project? Sir, I think our sales team would be the best people to reach out. This is not particularly on top of my mind, so I don't want to give any wrong information here. So the 3 sales managers whom we have mentioned, please reach out to them. They'll help you and suggest you with the inventory availability. Thank you. Hello, I wish to switch to a bigger apartment than the one booked. What's the process like? Sir, again, our sales managers would be the best people, sir. They would be more, in tandem with the process like this. But as far as what I remember, but please, I would say, please counter check it with our sales managers as well, is that whatever is a bigger apartment, you can shift to that. But however, the new price would be applicable, right? So that's what, as far as I know, that's how it runs, right? Thank you. Next, we are still waiting for the entire walkthrough video of the project. Sure, sir, we are working on that. Maybe I think another couple of months maximum it should be out. So it's in the process. Recently I've seen the work in progress version also. It's coming out well. So maximum 8 weeks time, it should be out, right? Is there a delay in construction due to Hydra and real estate downtime? No, there's no delay in construction due to Hydra or real estate downtown. In fact, this project we have seen thumping sales. In fact, the best launch the company has had from its inception in 2017. So in terms of sales, we are quite overwhelmingly booked out, and Hydra has no applicability in this area, right? There's no water body or per se before this. And however, the Honorable Government also has recently, the Chief Minister and concerned agencies, the Hydra Commissioner and Principal Secretary also have on record in the media mentioned that once approval is given, Hydra cannot do anything. So that's also widely available on those clippings are available in the YouTube and various media platforms. But yeah, so Hydra has no applicability here, and there is no delay because of downtime. In fact, we have had excess sales here, right? Next one, Mr. Shiva. I purchased a flat as an investment and plan to exit before handover. However, considering the area, it seems there will be a large inventory available in the market in 3 years. Do you foresee? So definitely, see, if it's a good hot city center micro market, right? This is central north of the Hyderabad. So definitely whatever inventory is launched out here would be absorbed by the market, and because there's a good amount of absorption, good amount of inventory also would be coming. But what is the key thing is how as a product you're differentiating, right? After handover, how the look and feel of your product, particularly after handover, what happens is whomsoever you are selling to, reselling to, they're going to come, see the property for itself, see the apartment, the quality for themselves, and then buy. So whatever the product design is going to add a key value to the property. And I've shown the entire product details, what I've product features and specifications, what I've shown. So definitely ours would be the, I would say ours would garner the best selling price in that area. So that's why we have invested so much in the product as well, right? Next, Dr. Hima. This is Dr. Hima. Hello, sir. That's a brilliant presentation. Thank you for showing us a glimpse of the life in Landmark. We have an EV bike and EV car. Can we have separate charging port at our parking? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, see, with respect to EV car and EV bike, we are giving various, points at different basements, ma'am. There are 3 basements, basement 1, 2, and 3. In each of the basement, we are providing spaces for we are giving provisions for this EV charging points, which would be operated by different vendor. Now, this is a standard way how we operate in our other communities as well. So you can, the vendor would, on pay-per-use manner, you can go and charge your vehicle, right? Next, Siva, are there any space for children's tuitions? Yes, sir, I have mentioned it in the presentation. In Tower B ground floor, there are dedicated space for kids, tuitions and project-based work pattern. There is space for that. How much will be the floor height for each apartment? Sir, as I have mentioned, see, I think what one should be expecting is approximately 3000 mm is what we give and take 25 mm. And then there is slab thickness of 125 mm, and then there is 70 mm of flooring thickness which happens. So if you remove that 200 mm theeseste, anywhere around 2750 to 2800. Sometimes the thicknesses vary, slab thickness and all vary. But yeah, approximately 2700 mm is what the net height one can expect. However, there would be a plus or minus 2 to 3%, but average get 2700 mm vastundi, right? How are you ensuring air pollution near to road not affecting the space? Sir, we are making sure to plant sufficient trees In fact, that was a brief given to our landscape consultant as well, and that would take care for to whatever extent the air pollution can be taken care, that will be taken care by the trees. Frankly speaking, the best solution is to provide plantation, right? Aditya, in RERA website uploaded documents, swimming pool is also shown in Clubhouse. Is there any difference in plans? Definitely, sir. I'll just take a look. Yeah, sometimes what happens is that gets happened little earlier, and then the design continues to keep evolving, right? I'll take a look at that and we'll get it changed. But yeah, the swimming pool is it is on the outside, right? What I've shown in this document, in this presentation. As mentioned by you, is it mandatory or rule to start temple construction only after receiving occupancy certificate? Why can't it be done before at least construction? Sir, it can't be done because only after getting OC we need to, because the temple is, we are building that facility upon customer's request in the tot lot area. So we will only be able to do it after the handover is completed. Now in sometimes what happens is some customers after OC getting that, we don't want a temple. In such cases we will not be able to do it. So it will be a community level program and a community level amenity. So hence only after getting OC we will be able to build it, right? Is there any swimming pool which is for kids who are kind of short kids? Yes, I think maybe I have not mentioned in this presentation. The swimming pool has two separate sections. One is the typical pool for adults and I would say teen kids, but for toddlers particularly, some part of the swimming pool would be low height, probably I would say 1.5 feet range. That, and again another interesting thing what we have taken in that toddler pool, which is the first of a kind in this entire Hyderabad, is the entire toddler pool we are planning to give, particularly the walls, we are giving a padded flooring instead of your tiles, because we have seen that when kids are playing, they don't swim, toddlers particularly, they don't swim like other kids and adults do. They just jump in water and they typically tend to fall and get hurt sometimes. So we are trying to pad the entire walls with cushioned flooring so that they land, it won't be it'll be a soft flooring, so it won't be a hard blow. So these are some of the minor, some of the important detailing what we have taken care. But yeah, there is a separate space for toddler kids as well. Next, Mr. Shiva. I currently live overseas and recently visited the site after booking. I noticed that the road in front is highly congested. Are there any government plans for road expansion to address the traffic? Yes, Mr. Shiva. The road what you're seeing in front, it's being made a 200 feet road, and we ourselves, as part of getting the approval, we have left 40 feet width of the entire site length for the road expansion purposes. And so that's already, the road is already given to the government, and probably during the course of time, whenever as per their road enhancement plan, they would be enhancing the road, right? Next, Mr. Rajendra Prakash. How the water facility is maintained during summer times? Do you have any rainwater harvesting? Sir, yes, there will be rainwater harvesting pit. Again, not only in our community, but in any gated community in Hyderabad. The norms of this are mentioned by the government on what should be the pit depth and what should be the sizes. So we will be maintaining, we will be building that as per the norms, and in fact that is an important occupancy certificate condition also. So there is a rainwater harvesting pit as per the norms itself, right? Next, Mr. Ramakrishna. Is there no scope for decreasing the price for maintenance? No, sir. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking. See, with respect to maintenance, sir, I've shown you the facilities and the scale at which they are being made and the sort of luxurious materials we are going to use. Definitely it's going to cost ₹1 more in maintaining them, but it is going to give you a great value for those of you who are living from a lifestyle standpoint, for those of you who are investors and who want to resell the property from an appreciation standpoint, right? And that is going to cost on maintenance, but it's going to give you a great value for your product. And and we mainly pursue from the perspective of giving great spaces and the ability to even being able to maintain it well, because ఒకసారి ఇచ్చేసిన తర్వాత అది మెయింటైన్ చేయలేదు అనుకోండి, రేపు మీ ప్రాపర్టీ వాల్యూ కూడా తగ్గిపోద్ది. సో డెఫినెట్లీ ఫ్రమ్ maintenance standpoint, it might cost you a penny more, but it's going to be worth it, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Durga Chand. A huge thank you to the ASBL team for helping us find our home at Landmark. The locations and features are perfect. It already feels like a home. A huge thanks to Ajitesh. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for this kind feedback. We'll try to get even better and deliver it on time and make you feel happy, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Farhan. Thank you, Ajitesh, for this ROTC. Appreciate your work, which gives us the confidence. As this is not my one construction, how would you ensure the stability and strength of the tall structure? Thank you, Mr. Farhan. So basically, sir, with respect to my one structure, right? Typically, we use my one structure in buildings which are 40 and 50 floors, purely because the repeatability of the material, right? When the material repeatability is low, it wouldn't make commercial and financial sense. So that's the thing. But whereas when it comes from a stability and strength perspective, we can provide all the necessary documents as well on what basis has the structure been designed and for what earthquake resistance. All of those things are taken care. And in fact, these are all vital documents which we have to submit, and it will be attested by the HOD of, I think, JNTU. Like if I'm not on JNTU or OU University, HOD department also attests these copies. So who will be testing for all this, on the design level, what is the strength and all of that, it's being designed for, right? We can, at a later time, we can even provide the documents need be. So there won't be any problem per se from whether it is a my one building or a non my one building. So you can be rest assured with that, right? I've booked a 4 BHK. I was told that window will not have grills according to fire safety norms, but is it safe to not to have the window grills? Sir, again, that's a good question. So with respecting to grills, there are two things, sir. Technically, as per the fire norms, we are not advised to provide it, because think about it this way. In case of a fire emergency, when the evacuation is being achieved from the outside, the reason the fire driveway is provided is because an attempt can be made for evacuation from the outside. If there is grill, you can't go out. That is the main purpose. However, we do realize that some of the residents, particularly in whose houses the kids are there, they want to put grills. So because it's again a resident and a family level thing, we leave it. It's purely up to you. If you want to put grills, post handover, you can put the grills. We will give a standard specification also on how the grills should be, and you can put that. But we do not give as a default feature because of this fire safety hazard. But frankly, it's up to the resident, right? Next, Mr. Ranjit Reddy, to book guest room, yeah, do we need to pay an additional amount? And also, I personally feel one badminton court is not enough for 670 family. Could you add one more? So two things. To use the guest room, yes, these are all payable facilities, sir. For the after the first 2 years of our maintenance period, right? At that time, whatever money is collected, it comes to our maintenance kitty. But post the 2 years, whatever money gets collected, that goes to the community level kitty, and it will be used for various community level activities. Right, regarding the badminton court, sir, in the context of the space what's available there, and given that we have to give various other spaces, that is the best we could do, sir. Any additions is not possible, and it will eat into any other space, and frankly at this point it's not possible because designs are also made, and there, given that we had to give all the spaces, this is the best what we could achieve there, right? And again, people can, by the time this handover would be done, there will be ASBL home app. You need not wait in line. You can book this space in the app itself on whatever time you want, and you can go and use it. So that way the convenience side of it will not be a problem, right? Next, Mr. Aditya, outdoor living is a key design from ASBL group. How about Landmark, specifically related to planter pots and water dripping? Sir, outdoor living has been you're right, has been a very important part of our brand, right? However, we have been improvising as we are going ahead. Here we are not providing a planter box. However, the balcony is big enough for people to place the planter box, a large planter box, so which can be potted. You can take that instead of building a fixed structure. We have taken that approach here because sometimes customers have been asking, can I put the planter box on this side? When it's an RCC thing, you can't do that. So to give that flexibility here, we have not given the planter box, so the resident can buy large pots and put it whichever part of the space he or she would like to put, right? Next, Chetan, Really like the amenities that are being provided. Is there any provision to add cafeteria as well to have breakfast, lunch, dinner? That's a good question, sir. But unfortunately, no, we will not be able to provide. The reason being mainly in a 676 apartments, generally when we did research, these cafeterias are not surviving, sir. For అందరు వచ్చి sign up చేసి పెడుతున్నారు vendors, but after 1-2 months, the people are getting bored of the space. And next, even for the vendor, he is only serving the 670 customers. So they are not having sufficient business. And within 3 to 6 months, in all major communities, they went out of business and they closed the space. And when they close the space, that's an idle space la migilipoddi, for which you will have to continue to do the maintenance, and it's unnecessarily adding to the burden, and the place becomes very dingy. So hence we have opted to remove that space, yes sir. However, the neighborhood has a lot of such F&B spaces, particularly given that there's a mall in the neighborhood. It's not too far away, right? Next, Mr. Nath. What kind of trees are you planning to plant? It would be great if you could include some of the following details. Kanika Chettu. Sure, sir. I think this design is particularly done by our landscape consultants, sir. And I believe it's significantly done, right? So whatever, and they are our landscape consultants in this site is Site Concepts, right? It's an international landscape design consultancy company based out of, I think, Vietnam Ankunta. So they are quite professional in this job, and they have been doing most of our projects, and we got good review from our customers. So they would be deciding what is best for that location, sir. Next. For office spaces or kitty party areas or any other thing, what would be the cost? Sir, the cost would be determined closer to the handover time, sir. At this point, it will be frankly a little premature to discuss on that. But closer to the handover, we would be. In fact, in Spire, we have given that's the first project where we have given co-working spaces and we have handed over as well. So over the next 1 year, we will be studying its usage patterns, how people are using, what are the, what can how can things be made better, how to charge and everything. But closer to the handover, we would be, in every project closer to the handover, we'll be coming up with this the list of these costs, right? How many total were sales? So we have done good amount of sales. In fact, in tower C&D, which we have launched, which were there at launch time, we are sold out close to 74% of the inventory. Now Tower B sales are happening, so we are significantly sold out in this project. I mean, much better sales than what we expected, so we are happy, right? Next one. Miss Soumya, hi sir, why there is only one balcony for 3 BHK? Ma'am, so it again comes down to the spatial design, right? What happens is, if you look at the large format 3 BHKs, we have given more balconies. Smaller format like 3 BHKs, when we are giving out more balconies, your carpet area comes down, and some of our customers have been giving that feedback. So hence we had to design with that constraint in mind. So that's how. And again, given that how the tower is, the particular flat is placed and all, sometimes the corner flats typically has more balcony opportunities, right? In fact, in this, for quite a few units, we have given 2 balconies. Only for some of them we couldn't, because even the carpet area goes up. Comes down when we give more balconies. So we had to play a balancing act, right? Next, Mr. Manoj. Any other ASBL project which is constructed with concrete blocks? If yes, is it heavy or lightweight? What are we using for Landmark? Sir, this particular detail I'll just reconfirm with my engineering team and probably ask our CRM team to reach out. Maybe you can drop a mail to our CRM team. They'll answer this. They'll just confirm with our engineering and answer this. Regarding using blocks, yes, 3 projects: ASBL Lakeside, ASBL Springs, which we'll be handing over from February, March onwards, and Landmark. All these 3 we are using bricks only. Regarding the type of bricks, I think please reach out to the CRM. They'll just confirm from engineering and respond to you, right? Next, Sujan, are you giving washroom like dry and wet? Sir, the washroom has been provisioned for such a design, right? However, we do not give a glass partition in the washroom. That is purely as per the consumer taste and design, because some of them don't want, some of them want it. So this level detail is purely left to the the customer's desire, right? Next, we have Mr. Mrs. Chandeshwar. We have been exploring for months, but ASBL Landmark just felt right. The sales team answered every question and made us feel confident. The clarity from directly the management helps a lot. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your feedback. We are making efforts to build more transparency and build in as much information into this entire journey for our customers. Again, we have made good inroads, but however, there are a lot more improvements what we intend to do over a period of time. But thank you so much for that. Next, Mr. Satish. Kukatpalli, KPHB, Pragati Nagar are known for their water scarcity. How the landmark is managing the water apart from does it plan borewells and so on? Yes, sir. As I have mentioned, we will be having primary source of water would be the government pipeline. The next would be your borewells, and we are taking additional precautions like your rainwater recharging pits also, so that whatever rainfall we can collect, we can conserve that water. So we are taking these three. Regarding the number of borewells, again, sir, please reach out to the CRM. They'll just confirm from engineering and come back to you with the right answer, right? Next, Anand Hirawat. Can the foyer space in front of the flat be used? Sir, see, essentially it's a common area. However, maybe a policy on this, I don't know if I can comment as of now. But closer to the handover, we'll try to come up with some policy. But technically, it's a common area. You can't put your furniture like chairs or anything there. However, in some, in most of the communities, your shoe stands are allowed in the common areas. So here also, I believe we'll be taking a similar approach. But however, closer to the handover, we'll come up with a guideline on this, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Rajshekhar. Can electric load for the project during occupation handle electric charging slots for majority of the parking area in case occupants decide to install charging points for themselves? No, sir, it's not designed for that purpose. But however, ample number of, good number of charging spots will be provided in each basement. So sarpodde, I mean, it's not like, because see, for in case the entire community wants to go ahead, I don't think they can, as far as my opinion, they can't. But there will be charging stations at various spaces in the building. That time they can. I mean, there they can go and charge their thing. But I don't think we have, this is not designed for, right? It's not, we have not designed for that. Next, Chandra. How much average percentage of carpet area ratio against saleable? Sir, again, exact details of this are mentioned in the website in the unit plan section. And even in the brochure, that would be the best source for this information. It will be more accurate. It's again not something which is on top of my mind, but because unit, the other percentage or whatever, I would recommend you go check it out there, right? Next, what would we expect on Clubhouse Terrace, which is eye-catchy look? So the Clubhouse areas is not for pedestrian use, sir. Not for customer use. It's purely from a services standpoint only. So no events would be allowed there, right? So yeah, that's not for customer usage, sir. Right, next. Can we do some additional grills for the balconies for safety purpose? Yes. Sir, post handover you can do. In case you want to go for MS grills and things, or a glass frame or things like that, glass frame kaithe em undadu. We will be sharing vendor details. Either you can go with that vendor or you can go with any vendor of your choice, right? MS grills levu kabatti indulo a problem undadu. Utility side sometimes you'll have MS grills. Akkada we will give a standard design detail. You can go in. You'll have to go in line with that to maintain the elevation, continuity. But however, most of the people these days are going with that invisible grills. In Spire also, when we handed over, majority of the customers went with that. We recommend you go with that because one, it looks simple, workmanship is easy, and from the outside it won't even kanapadadu kuda. So meeku elevation will still retain. But however, these are all your choices, sir. Next, Mr. Brahmanandam. Are we using solar panels for common area power? Yes, sir. We are using solar power to power the common areas. Again, how much worth of power generation would be given, would be achieved, that would be in line with the GHMC planning norm mentions for X amount of square foot or X amount of apartments, there's a Y amount of output worth of solar panels we need to put. We will be putting in cognizance with that. However, the power which is generated from these panels will not be sufficient to power the total common area. It can cater to a percentage of the common area, not the total, right? And so that's how it would be done. And yes, we are providing solar panels, right? This project is near metro. Should I concerned about noise, especially if the flat is facing roadside? So now regarding noise, definitely, given that it's in a very prime location, right? What makes a location prime is the road and a feature like metro, right? So noise would be there. However, the volume of noise changes at different points of time, and that's what I could say, because I frankly don't know the level of noise which a metro creates. Typically, the metro doesn't create much noise. So if people close their windows, at nights, I don't think they should hear much. But however, I don't know exactly what is in terms of decibels, how much it generates. But yeah, so whatever precautions we can take, we are taking. Like particularly when we give plantation, it acts like absorption of sound. But yeah, right. Miss Suharika, I've booked a flat. Talking to CRM team, how should I cross check? Flat booking number is C1508. Can we receive any confirmation other than receipts like a flat purchase photograph? See, flat purchase photograph. See, essentially, ma'am, if you sign the booking application, it's the final confirmation, right? So it's sort of a legal agreement also, right? It's a binding document. So if it's done in that, absolutely, you can be rest assured it's your flat, right? And if you have not yet signed the booking application, but in the process of it, or our sales team has confirmed to you the unit, then you should not worry. But yeah, frankly speaking, the booking application, which will later get converted into agreement of sale, this is how the binding or the ownership is created through these documents. A flat purchase photograph, as of now, I don't think the facility is there. However, we are building an experience center there, maybe in another 6 to 8 months. That time we are placing such provision there, then we can do a photo, right? Thank you. Siddheshwari Devi, Miss Siddheshwari Devi, are there any customization option available for interior layouts at ASBL? No, ma'am. Customization we do not do at ASBL. Post handover, if you want any changes, you can do purely at your discretion. However, please be, you will have to take all sort, we will be mentioning in the handover document what is allowed and what is not allowed, because most of the times we see residents breaking various things which will, create a lot of safety and strength hazards for the entire structure. The safety and the strength of the structure would be compromised. Sometimes I've seen them damaging the beams, columns. So we do mention a strict guideline of what is allowed and what is not allowed. And we strictly recommend you stick to that, because any undue changes to that will compromise the entire strength of the entire building, thereby posing a threat not only to you but to the entire tower owners. But yeah, please do in accordance with that. And we will be doing certain checks at some points so that to residents do not do any such activity. But yeah, whatever is allowed, we'll be mentioning in the document. Majority of any wall damage works would not be allowed and would not be encouraged, right? But there would be, yeah, what we'll closer to handover, that will be mentioned in the document, right? Thank you. What is the expected resale value of units in a land post given its look? Ma'am, again, the same question I've answered before. Any speculative thing, it wouldn't be right on my part. I would naturally say a price which is justified for me, given the product spec, what we are giving. We are giving the most luxury specs in that area, and this product is the best location in that area as well. So it would command the highest price. What that would be, purely I would leave it to your research, ma'am. Next, Mr. Krishnamurthy. Are there any special benefits or processes for NRI buyers interested in ASBL Landmark? See, processes perspective, sir, we are working with our banking partners, and benefits, none, sir. Be it NRI or a local customer, for us it's the same, right? Processes, we are trying to streamline the works. I mean, streamline the entire document sharing aspect. In fact, maybe in another couple of months, we are giving a login portal for our customers. You can go to Landmark website and there'll be a login. You can access the login, and any document storage or document exchange with our CRM or the banker, you can do via the portal. So it's much more seamless that way, right? So that way the process are further being leaned down, right? So that would really help you in the entire documentation aspect, and it'll act like a document wallet as well, right? Next, Mr. Upender. Will it be feasible for rental purpose, as I would be staying for longer term overseas? Wanted to know this before I can jump in buying. I come to know about you from Rock Talk. Great work. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, see, rental purpose, absolutely. Again, given that it's in a prime location and a top class project, one can expect very high rental values. Yeah, and in fact, quite a good number of customers. The major group who have purchased here has purchased with the intention of staying there. However, a good 20-25% of the customers are purchasing with a rental, rental investment option. So you should definitely get a very good return. However, I would recommend you look at the neighborhood projects. What is the current rental value, and you can take a decision for yourself, right? Next, Mr. Chaitanya. Sales team have proposed about pre-MI offer. If a person have invested in the project considering the pre-MI offer, getting a better price point, later stage, if we couldn't continue, what is the exit plan? Sir, for pre-MI offer, I'm not really sure. Is it the pre-MI offer or the super growth offer? In case of super growth offer, again, it's very well laid out in the document, sir. I would recommend you please read through that the document what you would have signed if you have purchased by now. It has all the details regarding the exit plan. Even for the pre-MI offer also, the exit plan is well laid out, sir. In case I think the document is a better source for this. Again, it's not on top of mind. It has a very well written out point by point. Again, I don't want to say something which is not there and probably set a wrong expectation. I would you have to kindly refer to the document, right? Thank you. Next, Mr. Dhananjaya. Thanks for the detailed overview of project scope. As I'm an existing customer for Spectra and glad to notice the construction progress as promised. Seems Landmark has got more features versus Spectra. Sir, see, it's like this. Each of the project, once we design and hand over, and naturally next year when we are launching new projects, that would have even more newer facilities, right? With research, with more time. In fact, we used the Spectra when we launched Appadla. There was no co-working spaces. Most of the spaces were not there. In fact, most of the spaces what we are giving here, I think all of them are there in Spectra, sir. Maybe one or two, nothing. I think all of them. No, living room bhi hai Spectra mein. Oh, guest rooms ke paas. No, sir, carefully cross check cheyandi. Anni unnai. Oka 10% atu itu ఉండకపోవచ్చు, because the newer projects, there's more learning from the past and we try to implement each year our projects we implement it, sir. But thank you so much for the feedback, right? Next, Mr. Ravi Teja. When can we expect a model house? Sir, approximately 9 months ankondi, sir. 9 months to a year. Next year, maximum 1 year, minimum 9 months. Our time the model house will be ready. When it is ready, the CRM will reach out to all the existing customers to come and have a look. Right, so yeah. Next, Miss Prasanna, thank you for the Prithvi from your sales team is awesome. Okay, sure, ma'am. Thank you. I'll pass on the the accolades to him. Recently, we had seen in news that some of the posh projects had a drainage issue when there was a heavy rain. How about this project? Sir, ma'am, generally, if you see villa projects all avutundi, apartments, this rarely happens. It's at least most of the newer gated communities, not just us. So what happens is we provide something called subsoil drainage and untundannamata. So when rain water lands on the project, right, there are two sources. Okati rain nunchi it will fall on all the podium area wherever the building is not there, and next all the terrace ka roof area. So from there will be pipes which will take the water directly to the basement subsoil tank an untadi, where all this water will go and collect in the tank, right? And podium మీద పడ్డదంతా కూడా we do something called external trench ani wherever needed. So there will be an external underground pipeline which will run in the soiled part of the podium, right? Non-soiled అయితే problem ఉండదు. There will be a pipes which will be collecting at various points. Soiled part of the podium, there will be an external trench which would take the podium level downpour of water and take it to the subsoil drain. Now that water would be used again for plantation purposes and all, because rainwater is generally very clean source of water. Anything over and excess, it will go, we'll pump it out into the government drain ఉంటుంది. That will pump it out. And every project has this, not just us, right? Even though ASBL has started in 27, but why is Kletos formed? So basically what we do is whenever we acquire different lands, right? We have a different financial partner, which are essentially banks or NBFCs or AFs and alternate investment funds. These people, co-purchase with us. They give us the funds to purchase these lands. Part funds istar villu. So in some of the banks or financial institutions, if I may call, there will be a mandate that you will have to do this in a separate company. However, this entire, if you look at the ownership of Kletos, is totally owned by ASBL itself. So it's just a corporate structuring thing which depends on us and our financial partners. I would definitely recommend you look into the ownership of Kletos. It is totally owned by ASBL only. So it's just a corporate structuring thing. That's it. How maintenance will be done after ASBL leave? So see, technically we at ASBL, we are developing our own facility and management team also. And over the next 1 year, we'll be perfecting it. Right now, it's in development stage. It will be going through its own learning curves and all of that. By the time this project is handed over, it will be fully significantly perfected. I can't say always fully perfected, significantly perfected. So we intend to do and we intend to maintain this property for its entire life, because we will understand it much better than any agency or anybody. But however, as per the rule, after 2 years, it's the discretion of the Resident Welfare Association. So we also, just like any vendor, we will send a quote, and if that gets selected, we will do. If that doesn't get selected, then it will be left to the RWA. But yeah, typically RWAs don't do a good job at it. Let me even tell that. I've been seeing in our handed over communities, and those then, generally after giving it to them, the maintenance and the property upkeep generally dips because they don't understand the technical nature of things. They always try to take the L1 bidder. See, maintenance, one should think, is a significant service, and most of the work is done by humans. We can't mechanize or automate it. If it's automated, then the cost comes down. If it's human driven, naturally a housekeeper cost salary is going to increase 10% minimum year on year. So the cost peruguddi. But RWS I've seen generally don't have this viewpoint, and they give very stringent rates, and naturally they get a poor vendor and the upkeep comes down. So I would recommend not to do in this community, but however the rule says that it's responsibility of the RWA. But as ASBL, one thing I can assure you, we have got the capability to maintain all our projects for perpetuity, right? Next, is there a referral program for landmark buyers? Yes, sir. There is a referral program. You can reach out to our sales manager, Prithvi, Likita or Abhilash. They'll explain you in detail how the program works, right? Next, Mr. Raviteja, when I booked an apartment, I was given a parking in B3. Can I change it to B1? No, sir, it's not possible, because all the parkings are designed with, given all the constraints and all the, requirements in mind. However, definitely I can, one thing I can definitely say, all the car parks, whether it's in B1, B2 or B3, the car park size is the same. It's a 2.5 meter by 5 meter width, 2.5 meter width and 5 meter length bay. Approximately, meeku oka Innova comfortable ga vartadi. So that we can definitely assure you. But the parkings are designed and allotted based as per the parking consultants' feedback and expertise. So it's already done, right? Next, will there be piped gas connection not mentioned regarding gas bank area in the project plan? Okay, yes sir, it's all piped gas only. Piped gas connected to prepaid metering, right? So that nobody can use it and not pay. They pay and then use. So the entire project, not only us, all the projects in the neighborhood, any gated community madala, this is a very basic feature, and this project also has that, right? Next, may I know when we can expect A block sales starts? Flat availability for sales information in your online portal, and any video on flat interiors and corridors. Sir, flat corridors, actually the renders are done. Somehow we missed it in this presentation. I'll ask our team to put it in the online, in the website lo pettamani cheptanu. The corridor images, corridor design image, corridor visualization and images. A block, I believe, given that we are significantly sold out on these blocks, C and D and B is also getting sold at a good pace, We intend to probably launch it out maybe once the experience center is finished, probably 9 months from now. But however, whenever, if you are interested, please leave a message with the sales or the CRM team. Whenever it's released, they will put the existing interested customers on first priority, right? Thank you. Next, thanks for the impressive presentation. Thank you. Among all your projects, if I have to choose to buy one on a relative basis, where do you rank this in terms of luxury and grandeur? So see, it's very simple. Any projects, the more newer ones will have more facilities. Why? Because one will have more research and more data, right? Like for example, we used to in Lakeside and we didn't give any co-working space because apparently there was no concept of co-working. Then pandemic came, and in fact most of the projects which we launched, Spire, Spectra, during pandemic at that time, which did not have co-working spaces, later we realized that it's a need, we gave it. Some of the things would be too far in the design, any changes to that will hamper the timelines, that we will not be able to do. But general thumb rule is, the more latest it is, the more facilities it's bound to have, because we pick up from the learning experience of all the previous projects as well, right? So that's the thing. Next year you say whatever new trends we are seeing, we'll try to put in that, right? Next, yeah. Mr. Yashwant, how does the design of landmark apartments ensure optimal space utilization and ventilation? So again, if you see the entire design, one from a ventilation aspect, wherever possible, particularly the rooms which are facing the external side, right? We have given large windows. Most of the competition gives a medium-sized windows. We have taken large windows, almost from beam bottom to slightly above the flooring, like I don't know what it's called, but yeah, we have given a large formatted windows. So that will give more lighting to the room compared to any of the products which our competition is doing. Next, space utilization, it's well evident in the floor plans, sir, that how we have given a 3.5 BHK, the half bedroom, keeping in mind the a family who is in that 45 to 50 year age group. So that's how, if you see most of our competition in that size, like a 2,500 square feet size, plus minus, they don't have a 3.5 BHK, they only have a standard 3 BHK format. So whereas we have given 3.5 so that extra half bedroom can be utilized, right? So that's how we have optimized the entire space, which is very evident. In fact, another point I would like to bring up is a lot of the customers have given great feedback in this floor plans of this project. In fact, I myself have designed it personally. We have done close to 230 iterations before we selected on that final 33 odd floor plans. But yeah, we have been getting really good feedback on that. Right, next. For Spire Clubhouse is provided in November after the handover. What about the plan for Landmark? It's a good question, sir. Majorly regarding the Clubhouse, what happens is sometimes, most frequently, the Clubhouse works are much more sensitive in nature. As you have seen even in the images, right? We use a lot of marble, so workmanship akkada slow untadi. Andukani in the agreement, it's clearly mentioned that after handing over the flat up to 1 year time, we are permitted to finish the Clubhouse works. However, in the case of Spire, we took that 1 year, right? Principally because we had to change a lot of design. If you look at the initial Spire Clubhouse, we have mentioned 12 amenities, whereas what we have given is 19 amenities, right? Why? Because we saw that, okay, lifestyle has changed, people have new requirements, so we had to change. Naturally, if you are changing the design, it's going to cost time. However, we finished it well within whatever is mentioned in the agreement. In the case of Landmark, again, the agreement says the same thing, right? But the design is finished, and what I have presented, that is the design. We are not going to do any major changes. So pretty much it should be finished plus or minus at time of flat handover. However, I would recommend it might take 2 quarters more than flat handover, because by the time you take handover and you do your interiors and you move in, there's a 90% probability it will be finished, right? The reason being, yes, the work in the Clubhouse is little more workmanship intense. We have to do it little more carefully, right? Next. How much is the height of the doors inside the unit? Hope should not be issue for tall people. No, not at all. Sir, again, exact height, I'll ask please leave a message to the CRM team. They'll confirm with engineering and reply to you. For 6 feet, it should not be a problem for that height. I mean, hardly nobody gives doors of that height. Exact height, I think the team will give. I think it's 7.5 feet da kuntundi, right? But yeah, please leave a message to the CRM. They will talk with engineering and just confirm you, right? If I give my 3.5 BHK for rent, again, sir, this question, I would say you look up for, there's a lot of online portals, data is available. And again, most of those communities are old ones, right? Given that is a new one and the most premium and luxury one in that area, it will definitely command the highest rent. So I would leave it for your research, sir. Next, Mr. Kunwar. The range of unit sizes from 1645 to 8 is impressive. What insights drove the design choices for different families? Same thing, sir, as I've mentioned in the presentation. So we realized that essentially there are 3 customer groups whom we are targeting, right? The first is the millennials, right, who are just who are probably newborn, who are new parents. They're probably in their early 30s to late 30s. So for them, it's essentially they have kids. It's a family of wife, husband, and 1 to 2 kids, right? And probably the elder kid in the range of 3 to 5 years. That's one target group. The next target group is we have seen is this 45-year age group category. There's a wife, husband, and one or either of the kids who are more moving towards the 12 years plus, and they want that extra space. Right, an extra bedroom. So anduku a 3.5 bedroom concept vachindi. And then another thing is, particularly in Kukatpalli, parents also are staying with the house owners, right? Especially again, once somebody crosses at 50, 55, the homeowner, their parents are 70, 75-year-old. And when we are seeing that once the parents are crossing 70, 75-year-old, our research is showing that predominantly they end up staying with the kid. So andukani 4-bedroom we have planned. And a particular thing in the 4-bedroom is both the master bedroom and the parent bedroom we have given same size. So the parents also have a comfortable stay. So these are the key customer categories what we have gone for. And we have got good feedback on that. But yeah, that's the key TG. Right, next. Mr. Chinni, in co-working space, can you place sit and stand tables? In washrooms, do we have dry and wet sessions? Sir, again, washrooms, I don't know particularly. I'll maybe ask the team to, you can just leave a message to the CRM. They'll probably find out from engineering. Stand and sit, I don't think so, sir, because designing is again done, and aesthetically also it won't fit in that aesthetic. However, I'll take this feedback. I'll share it with our design team, and let's see if possible. I'll try to do it, because again we can't change the entire design because there's a particular design aesthetic what they have gone for. We'll see if it's possible. I'll try to add them. Okay. In fact, all the workstations in our office are all multi-height adjustable workstations. What about STP for Landmark? Yes, sir. There's STP provided. And again, not only our project, any gated comes with this STP feature, and it's a fully functional state-of-the-art equipment what we'll be providing, right? Next, how do Landmark's layouts take advantage of its prime location near the buyer for maximum use? Again, I've mentioned earlier, all the rooms and windows which are coming on the facade side, we have given large windows, so it exemplifies the lighting which comes into it. And then at various corners of the site, if you look, we have not gone for a standard design. Most often, again, if you look at other projects in the neighborhood or competitors also, a standard template untadi. Corner flat is a standard template. Anni dagal they repeat that. In Landmark, we have not done. Each corner, most of them have different units, because different corner the views are better from different directions. So we uniquely designed our corner ki specific unit. So if you look at tower plan level, it's quite evident. Carefully. So that's how we have maximized it, right? Next, Mr. Aditya, do you see the handover date will be preponed like your other projects? Sir, see, basically, if it is completed, I mean, we would want to give it out early and finish our obligation earlier. However, we try to keep that time because, in a 3.5 year period, you don't know what strikes happen, or if there any, any sort of thing which will hamper the work progress at site or stop the work progress. Andukan we keep, but if you finish early, I mean, we would want to give it, right? There's no thing. And if in case that's happening, we'll send out a message, right? Next, Venkatesh. Thank you, Abhilash. Ajitesh, sir. Ajitesh, for your support and guidance given to us. Acha, Abhilash, thank you. I'll pass on the compliments to Abhilash. Next, Mr. Chaitanya, thank you for your wonderful presentation. Sales team has been promoting about pre-MI offer. If I want to invest in the project now and couldn't continue, what would be the exit plan in pre-MI booking? Sir, again, the details of this would be clearly laid out in the agreement, sir. What is the amount we will be charging, and in case if you are exiting, whatever is the pre-MI amount on top of my mind, but I would recommend you clearly read it in the agreement because it is well worded and thoroughly thought through. But on top of my mind, మీరు pre-MI exit అవుతే whatever the pre-MI amount we have reimbursed you, that we'll be holding back from whatever the amount we'll be giving back to you, right? Apart from the other cancellation charges, the pre-MI amount whatever we have paid, it's like a bonus amount, that we'll hold back, right? Is banquet hall equipped with chairs, tables and stage? Yes sir, banquet hall is equipped with all these three things, right? Landmark adds exude premium vibes. ASBL is working a lot in consumer insights and the sales process with a personal touch. Kudos to Ajitesh for stepping up and addressing queries directly. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the kind words. But yeah, our customers have been usually, guiding us and detrimental in the success of ASBL, right? To be frank, when I started, I didn't know a lot of things. Of course, I come from a construction, builder family nunche, but naturally the nuances I learned only by serving customers across projects. So I think a big part of the credit goes to them, but thank you so much. Next, Mr. Jani. Since it's an industrial area, you would have already tested the quality of groundwater, or is it? Sir, again, the quality of the groundwater team would have, again, not on top of my mind, but I will definitely ask them to, if they have done the test, I'll ask them to, please reach out to the CRM, I'll ask them to share it. But don't worry about it. There is a water treatment facility that will treat water to the standards prescribed by the government. Not only us, every project in the city does the same thing. So depending on the water level there, whatever is the level, if it's, let's say the water level is here and we have to get it to a certain this level, we will have to change the whatever the composition of the treating equipment to get it to that level, and the reports of that would be provided to the community on every 15-day manner. So you guys can take a look at that, right? We would like to replace floor tiles with marbles. Can we get handover without tiles by excluding tiles amount? No sir, this is not possible, because see, when we buy it in bulk and everything is done at a system scale. Any such floor level or apartment level change to the engineering plan will create timeline delays. We have done it in the past, and trust you, it's become very thankless job, and it even impacted the schedules of various handovers. So we wouldn't recommend that. However, మేము handover ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత you can remove the tiles and put the marbles, but by taking the due precautions, right? Next, Mr. Venkatesh. Thank you, Abhilash, for your support. This is done. Next, what is the height of the main door, and can it be customized if needed? So again, height of the main door, please send a message to CRM. They will answer it, particularly by taking the confirmation from engineering. If I'm not wrong, somewhere around 7.5 feet, but please reach out to them. They'll take a confirmation from engineering and mention the exact thing. Customization of the door, post handover, you see, okay, this one maybe I'll have to come back closer to handover, sir, because any change to door is a change in the common area laga treat chestamu. But so first of all, before handover, no customization is possible. After handover, whether the customization of door is allowed or not, maybe closer to the handover, we'll come up with a policy on this, sir. Mostly my take is it would be, but detailed policy, I think towards handover we'll be able to put it. Okay. Next, Mr. Ravi. Kindly share details on financial stability of ASBL to complete project on time, and who owns the project site? Sir, see, the project site is owned by Kletos. Kletos is owned by ASBL in entirety, right? Most of the ASBL financial data is available on third-party websites. We will be filing our, our annual returns and all. And another thing, you can be rest assured that we have got the financial muscle power to hand over the project in time. Two things. One, we have a lot of equity our own selves, because we've been doing this business for many years. We have got our equity. Second, we are supported by top bankers, in this case Piramal Finance, right? So the entire financial closure is achieved. So there's no particular reason for any concern whatsoever. But however, if you want the financials, I think it's a public data. It will be available on some of these websites. You can check it out there, right? Next, Sarathi Reddy. I heard ASBL is rapidly expanding its teams. Is there a new project plan in Gachibowli with new mechanisms? You've been very active recently, so it seems like something big is in the works. Thank you, ma'am. And see, definitely every year we would want to do 1 to 2 launches. We've developed the capacity for it. We have developed extensively in our teams and our technological capabilities as well. And over the last 2 years, particularly last 1 year, we have extensively focused on our branding. Again, this is not just for our future sales. That too is a big consideration for that. But the major thing has been that, when the brand goes up, even the property value for our customers and resale value for our investors also go up, right? So they have been, in fact, they have given this feedback that, on improvement in the brand value, and we've been actively doing it for the last 1 year. But yeah, however, we are an aspirational company. We are an ambitious company. We want to, launch multiple projects at various points of time and serve a much larger customer base, right? Next, is the utility area closed or open? Sir, again, this also I'll, kindly leave a message to the CRM. They'll confirm with the engineering. But let me tell you what's on top of my mind. We are giving a sliding glass window to start with, right? So that you can open it and close it. It becomes very easy to operate it. But yeah, that's what on top of my mind. But please send a message to the CRM. They'll confirm with engineering. But place-wise open, we're just putting a large glass window so that pavral gural, like birds have disturb cheyakunda, because that's what we have been seeing in some of the handed over facility projects. Birds come into the utility and lay eggs. They spoil the space. So people have been closing it with windows. So we thought, why don't we only do it? But however, just reach out. Some of the places it wouldn't have been possible, hence we wouldn't have given. But most of the places, I think we have given. But please send a message to the particular flat number is pampiyandi. They will be able to they'll confirm with engineering and send it to you. Next, what next for ASBL? Any project near exit to Kollur? No, sir. Currently, we are not looking at any project in Kolluru. However, we are planning for another launch in a financial district early next year. But Kollur, not anything as of now. Thanks for conducting ROTC event for Landmark. I've missed first few minutes of the discussion. So don't worry, this entire session would be hosted on YouTube on the ASBL channel. I would recommend all of you to please subscribe to the ASBL channel, because not only the ROTC, even the monthly progress updates, we would be putting it out on the channel. Sometimes customers reach out, we tell them it's on the YouTube channel. So please, team, put the ASBL YouTube channel ka link in the chat. Please follow and subscribe it. So whenever a new content on the project or anything comes, it will come onto your YouTube wall, right? Next, it's little uncomfortable of just having one Spark bank for pre-MI offer. Is there any chance of involving SBI to be part of it, as it is the most trusted? So again, the pre-MI offer is I would say it's a very tailor-made product with our banking partners, sir. It's not a individual, piece which we alone work at it. Of course, we are the interface of it, but it is significantly supported by our banking partner. However, in case you're looking at SBI, see, particularly we don't have any such thing with SBI, but please reach out to the sales team. Maybe we can, try working out in your case or something like that, but I can't really promise you. But please reach out to the sales manager. If it's possible, they'll get it done, right? Is copper wiring and water outlet for AC is planned in design? Yes, sir. Water outlet is default. Copper wiring is also default. It's planned. You have to simply buy the AC and fix it. Don't need to worry about any copper wiring or wall chipping areas for AC. Not required. So yes, I think that concludes the question. Few more people are pending. Okay, just maybe we can approve. Yeah. I'll just wait for a couple of more minutes. If at all any one of you want to ask any question, I'm here. Approximate tower to tower distance. See, the minimum distance I believe is going to be 17 or 17 and a half meters, 17 meters. However, at various points it will be more. That's the minimum is 17. The maximum can range anywhere from 20, 25 also. But yeah, minimum at any point would be 17 meters. So in terms of feet, approximately 55 feet untundadi. Next, Mr. Rajesh, in C blocks 1740 unit balcony looks inside and blocking view because of ODU design and elevation of building. Any reason of designs like this? Sir, again, see, it's constraints under. Whenever we design, there are various constraints which we'll have to play with, right? In terms of with the given constraints, any designer, not just us, any designer has to play with the constraints to the best of the possible level, and we have also done the same thing, right? Next, Mr. Kranti. Hey Ajitesh, can we expect a budget gated community from ASBL with essential amenities in price back? Definitely, sir. In fact, in that one category, inka 60 lakh to 85 lakh price segment, we are doing on Pocharam, east of Hyderabad. Akkada we are doing in that below 1 crore segment. So that's 60 lakh to 85 lakh product category. If at all, you are looking to stay in that side of the city, or you want to in that price bracket, that's where we as a brand are operating with that product category, right? Done? Okay, sir, I think all the questions are done. Thank you so much, and namaste everyone. Thank you so much for coming to this ROTC event. Thank you all.